For you hot dogs that have been listening to RTG for a while now, you may remember that back in the early days of the show, I talked about how we were just a little weed in the gaming podcast garden and we kept growing and growing. And I never would have imagined we'd become the full-on infestation that the podcast has become now. If you've ever dreamed of running your own business, all you have to do is plant that little seed and start watering, and you can surprise yourself. And I know, it can seem very overwhelming at first. You need a website, a logo, you need to figure out how to advertise your business, how to accept payments when you make sales. It's a lot, but thankfully that's where our sponsor Shopify comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform of choice for millions of businesses around the world, from the little startups to behemoths like Mattel and Gymshark. 10% of all e-commerce in the US uses Shopify. You can use Shopify to make a website. They can help you write descriptions and enhance your product photos for that website. They offer super easy to run email and social media campaigns so your advertising is covered. They're like the greatest employee of the month of all time. And if you get stuck along the way, they're there to help with their award-winning 24/7 customer service. Turn those dreams into and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/RTG. Go to shopify.com/RTG. Shopify.com/RTG. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Black. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it's a big one, episode 350. And statistically, it's actually one of the biggest ones ever. 215 million copies sold. The second best-selling game of all time, if you don't count 3 trillion versions of Tetris, which I do not. It's Michael, it's Franklin, of course it's Trevor. It is Grand Theft Auto 5. I was one of seemingly only about 12 people on this planet that hadn't played Grand Theft Auto 5 until the last 2 to 3 weeks, but I knew I wanted to cover it on the show before Grand Theft Auto 6 dropped. Now we've got a date for Grand Theft Auto 6 as of now. We'll see if that changes or not. And we always cover big name games on the every 50th episode, right? Like we did Mario 64, Halo 2, Super Mario Brothers, Final Fantasy Tactics, Gears of War, The Last of Us, and they really genuinely don't come much bigger than Grand Theft Auto 5. All the stars aligned, the time was right, and after sinking a little over 40 hours into the story mode of this game in the past 2 weeks, I'm done. The credits have rolled. I am impressed, my friends. I am impressed. I always say that I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan. Grand Theft Auto Vice City was my first, and it was cool. I know there's nostalgia for it, but I hated the fucking controls, and I kind of just checked out. I never finished it, and I kind of just checked out of the series until I started to remember the game. And then I played San Andreas a few years ago. Frustrating at times, particularly the flying missions. Fuck you. But pretty entertaining. Kind of warmed up to the series after San Andreas. I really liked Grand Theft Auto 4 a couple years ago. And I have to say, now that I'm done, the legendary, the mythical Grand Theft Auto 5, superb. The controls, well, still not perfect, were pretty cleaned up. I loved the story, loved the characters, and I have to say, you're going to hear this phrase a lot in the next couple hours. This is one of the most impressive video games that I've ever played. I played the Xbox Series X version, but to think that at one point, this was a PlayStation 3/Xbox 360 game blows my fucking mind. Insane. It took 3 games and over 100 hours of stealing cars and running from the cops, but after San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto 4, now Grand Theft Auto 5, I guess I am a GTA fan now. I'm officially stoked for GTA 6, and I didn't have to wait for it for like 13 years, like so many of you. I just played 5. I had like 6 months. I had tons to play, and then I'll be playing Grand Theft Auto 6. So shout out to all of you that have been waiting so patiently for that one. I will be playing it day one now. Can't fucking wait. I will warn you when it comes to this week's episode, I did not play any GTA Online, so we are just sticking to the story mode. And I'll tell you right now, like I could not do everything. I did tackle some side stuff, but most of this review, most of our conversation today is going to be sticking to the main story, the whole plot of the three of them and the betrayal, and you know how it happened. I wanted to make sure I saw the ending before we recorded this episode. And if you're wondering which of those endings I picked, I know many of you have reached out to ask, well, you're just going to have to listen and find out. And it probably goes without saying, but we are going to be spoiling the plot of GTA 5, so there's your warning. My guest this week is my friend Andre, who has covered all the other GTAs we've done on the show so far. He has been asking me to cover Grand Theft Auto 5 for years. He loves it. I love it now. Most of you love it. It's GTA 5. I mean, what else is there to say? And we'll get to it in just a minute, because speaking of what else is there to say, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. Dun, 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 dun. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome aboard. Consider this your official disclaimer, your official warning. Our intros are kind of long. They're not that long, but they are kind of long. But they're fun. We talk video games and stuff, and they're unofficially endorsed by Trevor, because some of you sound like him when you write in angry about the length of our infamous intros. If you want to skip it, usually I say go to about the 30-minute mark and we'll be into game talk. It's probably around there again, maybe a little bit longer this week, because it's episode 350. I'm going to read a few more comments from people than I normally do. Or if you just sign up for our Patreon, you'll get timestamps, because you'll get Remember the Game ad-free with timestamps. Every episode, all 350 of them, waiting for you over there along with all our extra shows. You know how it works. It's the lifeblood of the podcast. We publish 4 additional shows over there every week. There's no ads in any of them. You can start listening for as little as $3 a month. You can also write into the show. You can vote on the games we cover. You can join our 1,000+ member Discord. You get instant access to hundreds and hundreds. If my math is correct, there's over 1,200 archived episodes waiting for you on Patreon the minute you sign up right now, which is crazy. And most importantly, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name, like I'm definitely going to do to a couple of ththese people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons: Jesse Morin, Dark21XX, Nick Marquez, Marquez 23, Roy Cressley, Lukey, Sexton Hardcastle. Was that Edge's name? That was a wrestler's name. I can't remember who it was. Mike Ziaminski, Sean Davies, Corey Casey. I'm really doing these bad this week. Patrick Weinkoff, the 1985 Canadian men's soccer team. Echo is missing 2. Chris Gallant, The Goggles Do Not Think. James Gary, Hugo Fay, and Justin Gomes. Absolutely butchered a few of those names. Wear it as a badge of honor. Thank you so much for the support. And welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all of that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. There's a few freebie episodes over there if you want to sign up and give it a shot. We offer annual subscriptions that'll get you your 12th month on the house. And don't forget, we donate 5% of that income to the Stollery Children's Hospital as part of our extra live stream every year. And that is coming up November 7th and 8th. I will be online from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mountain Time both days, playing video games and raising money for the Stollery. We have raised over $90,000 in the first 5 years. I'm excited to do it for year 6 this year. Come by, hang out with me. And if you make a donation of $20 or more, you'll be entered to win a prize, and we'll be auctioning off a chance to be my guest on an episode of Remember the Game in the year of 2026. There. Plugs are done. The bills are on. That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow, and I'm going to do a few more of these. I normally do about 6. I'm going to do a few more of these this week because I'm in a good mood, and it's episode 350, and because I can. Just Car Pranks wrote into the show and said, with Battlefield 6 right around the corner, I have another pre-order theoretical for you. Say you play the beta, and it's spot on for you, and you've decided you are going to purchase the game, whether it's release day or pre-order. Now, does the rule still stand of no pre-orders to avoid giving studios the money early and risking cutting back on development? Keep in mind, the beta was solid, and the majority of the community felt the same way. Also, you get some free cosmetics if you pre-order and pay the same price as retail or as release day retail. Even if you don't care about the cosmetics, what's the harm? Yeah, for the record, because for those of you that maybe don't know, I 90% of the time have an unwritten rule of I don't pre-order games. And there's a few reasons for that. And one of them is not, you mentioned just Car Pranks, to avoid giving studios the money early and risk cutting back on development. My hesitation about pre-ordering has never been about giving the studio early and risking them cutting back on development. The rule has just been by and large, like, it doesn't matter how. I think Cyberpunk 2077 has been and always will be kind of the poster child, for example. Like, it doesn't matter how hyped up a game is, and it doesn't matter how much money and how many resources are behind a game. It can be shipped in a broken pile of shit shape, as Cyberpunk 2077 was. So by and large, my rule is I don't pre-order games just because I'm like, I'll wait for reviews, because a game can look fucking sick. And then when it comes out, it's like, oh, actually, never mind. It's a buggy mess. The servers don't work. The game doesn't work. You kind of bought a broken game. Sorry about that. We'll fix it. That's usually my rule of thumb and why I don't pre-order games, because I just want to see, like, does it work? Did you fuck this up? And the other reason for me, at least, is I buy all my games digitally. So, like, there's not really a need to pre-order. I mean, I guess if you want to pre-install the night before, go ahead. That said, though, I've said many times, the one time I will break my no pre-orders rule is when it is a game that I know I'm going to buy no matter what. It doesn't matter if the reviews, like, for example, Mario Kart World. Admittedly, I was kind of disappointed in Mario Kart World, which we're going to talk about here in a couple of minutes. But I knew that, like, even if the reviews came out and we were like, 4 out of 10, this game sucks, I knew I was buying it day one. I love Mario Kart. I got to Switch 2. I want to play it. So then I'm like, then I don't mind pre-ordering, because I know I'm going to buy it no matter what the reviews say. In your case, you're like, I played the beta. I love Battlefield 6. I know I'm going to buy it. Then yeah, fucking pre-order it. Pre-install it. Fucking go nuts. It's just like games that I'm on the fence about. A game where I'm like, I might pick that one up. I won't pre-order it because I want to make sure it's not a broken pile of shit when it comes out. That's my general rule of thumb. That's why I have for the most part, a no pre-orders rule. But if it's a game you know you're going to buy, then yeah, fucking give them your money. Especially if you're going to get some cosmetics. What's the harm? Go nuts. The goggles do nothing. Said, hey, Adam, medium length time listener, first time subscriber. Thank you. Why do you think there hasn't been a proper Simpsons game since The Simpsons game? The series is clearly still insanely popular with a new movie coming in a couple years. I started watching it again from season 1, and the craving for a Simpsons hit and run 2 is through the roof. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Goggles Do Nothing. Now that you're a Patreon, don't forget to check out Purple Monkey Dishwasher. That's our Simpsons podcast. Mark McHugh and I, every week, we go through an episode of the show and review it. We're in the middle of season 6. We just did Homer Bad Man. So we're in the glory years now. It's fucking good times. I agree. I don't know. I don't know why. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just... The only reason I can think of why we haven't gotten a new Simpsons game since The Simpsons game, which was a long time ago, is... Like, are they just... Like, maybe they're just asking too much for the license? Because since The Simpsons game... Is that not when Disney acquired The Simpsons? And maybe Disney's playing hardball with the license? Or maybe they just don't think it would sell enough, like a developer. Maybe Disney's asking too much for the license, and game developers are like, there's no way we recoup that cost with a Simpsons game. I don't know, because I've said the same thing. How have we not gotten a new Simpsons game in so long? We used to get a new Simpsons game like every 6 days back in the fucking day. It was like, no, what's the plan for this one? Bart goes on American Gladiators, kind of. What about this one? Bart and Lisa need to go to Camp Krusty, but it's actually like a death camp. What about this one? Well, we'll just take Crazy Taxi and put Homer in it. Well, what about this one? Tony Hawk's big. How about we just make them skateboard this week? Like, they just have a new game every fucking 6 days. And we haven't had one in 12 or something years now. That's the only thing I can think of, because I don't know. I don't know why we haven't gotten one either, especially with this resurgence of the classic beat 'em ups with like Cowabunga or Shredder's Revenge and Power Rangers Rita's Rewind, and we've got the He-Man one coming up, and that new Marvel one is coming up, and like, how have we not, like, make a new Simpsons beat 'em up, something? I don't know. I don't either. Personally, I keep calling for a Simpsons kart racer. That's the one that doesn't make sense to me. Tell me you couldn't have so much fun with a Simpsons kart racer. All the different locales in Springfield, all the different characters, the mixing and matching. It'd be fucking insane. I don't know either. All I can imagine is the license. I can't think of any other reason why we haven't gotten a new Simpsons game yet. I don't even know anymore. Patrick Weinkoff says, hey, Adam, I've been listening to the show for a few months now, and today I finally sprung for Patreon, and I'm very excited. Thank you, buddy. I have a question about your infamous backlog from hell. Do you ever have a hard time deciding what game to play next? I have about 4 to 5 games I'm working on right now, and I feel like I either struggle to decide which one I'm going to work on, or I struggle not to start a completely new game that is waiting in the backlog. I try to focus on games that I'm interested in, because gaming is for fun, but then I have such a hard time weighing how excited I am about a new game versus how much I want to finish one I've already started. How do you deal with these things? I know the podcast probably makes it harder to pause a game if you lose interest, but I figured you might have some advice. Also, I'm working on getting into veterinary school, so I always love hearing about Millie, the new CEO, and I send her love from down here in Tennessee. Well, thank you, Patrick, and shout out to you and all the vets out there. You know, I've shout out, I don't mean the war vet. I mean, like, shout out to the war vets too, of course, but the vets, the animal vets. I've shouted out, I've shouted out the military, I've shouted out cops, I've shouted out firefighters, I've shouted out teachers, I've shouted out McDonald's workers. Shout out to veterinarians, because other than the amount of money you take from me, you're doing important work. And Millie's good. She's still a pain in the ass, but a little bit less of a pain in the ass. Yeah, it is something that I do struggle with as well. I think it's something every gamer, unless you're one of those gamers that only ever plays like 3 games, like all you play is COD and Madden or whatever the fuck. I think most gamers at some point are like that. And I'll say I'm like that now. Like at any given time, you guys hear the What Am I Playing This Week segments every week. At any given time, I'm balancing 4 to 5 games. Like right now, I mostly have just been playing Grand Theft Auto 5, like obsessively, and Resident Evil Remake obsessively, which an episode is coming up on very soon. But like for modern games, I'm playing Silksong, I'm playing Chronos: The New Dawn. I'm always balancing 4 to 5 games at a time. I am kind of the same way. The only rules of thumb I have are I try to avoid playing 2 games in the same genre as much as I can because I find the controls get fucky. And generally, I put priority go to games for Remember the Game, which is why I've only put 6 or 7 hours into Silksong and only 3 or 4 hours into Chronos: The New Dawn and I haven't touched Silent Hill yet or Ghost of Yotai or Sonic Racing or Everybody's Golf or, oh my God, Hades 2 or all the other games that I want to play because generally I put priority into whatever I have to play for RTG because when it's your job, it's your job. I have to get through those ones first. I would say don't overthink it. When you're just playing for fun, if you're just sitting down at night and you're like, I had a long day at work and I just want to sit down in front of my television and play a game, my advice to most people would be don't stress about having to finish every game you bought. Don't be like, I paid $80 for this one. I need to get through it. Just let your heart decide. It's like when I order food at a restaurant. If I'm torn between 3 or 4 things, I don't stress about it. I just close the menu. And then when the server comes to take my order, I just let my heart fucking say what's at the top. What's that old thing? If you're torn between 2 things, flip a coin and your mind will make up before the coin hits the ground. Just pick the one you want to play. And if you've opened and started like 20 games and haven't finished any of them, fuck them. Who cares? Someday, I guarantee you, every single person listening to this is going to die with a backlog of unfinished games. So it doesn't even matter. Just play whatever your heart desires. Now, if you're buying 70 or 80 games at a time and not, then maybe, which I know a lot of us do as well, then maybe finish some games. Or at least say you're done with them. But otherwise, just play whatever you feel like. Don't let it bring you down. The world's already full of too many decisions. Just have fun and play whatever your heart desires. And if that just means you go back and play Mega Man 1 for the 900th time like I regularly do, then so fucking be it. John C500 said, hey, Adam, I get married on the 10th. I've kept a backlog of games to buy from the past couple of years due to saving for the wedding. What's your top 5 must-buys from 2024 and 25? Congrats on episode 350. Some achievement, mate, and thoroughly deserved. Well, thank you, John C., and congratulations on the wedding. Maybe not quite as big of achievement as 350 episodes of a stupid podcast, but we all have to start somewhere. I'm kidding. Congratulations on the wedding to you and Mrs. Or Mr. I don't know, John C500, whatever. That's cool. I wasn't sure if you meant 5 from each year, so I just went with 5 combined. Astrobot would be number 1. Astrobot is the best game to come out in the last 2 years, and you need to play Astrobot. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is probably the best game to come out in 2025 still. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a big RPG fan, that game is a work of art. Balatro is the new Slay the Spire. That game is fucking incredible. You need to play it. Hollow Knight Silksong was absolutely worth the wait. I highly recommend it. And then I know tons of people are going to yell tons of games at me, but I'm going to go with Ninja Gaiden Ragebound because I think that game was a throwback masterpiece, and you're old like me, you'll enjoy that. But Astrobot is far and away. If I could suggest one game from the last 2 years, it's Astrobot. Play it, thank me later. That game's a masterpiece. Ratchet My Clank said, hey, Adam, congrats on 350 episodes. It's hilarious how your biggest struggle is finishing video games on time. You've really made it, my dude. Thank you. What tricks or methods do you use to finish games quickly? Do you lower difficulty or skip content? You said there are certain games you wish you could have spent more time with, but have you ever regretted speeding through a game too fast for the podcast? Maybe you didn't get the proper experience, or maybe listener comments made you realize you skipped something major. All the time. And I've heard that from other game reviewers like way back in the day. I remember listening to like Podcast Beyond at IGN and stuff and hearing like Greg Miller and them talk about that. How when you're reviewing a game and you are on a timeline, the simple fact is you may not have time to go back and do everything before you do a review. And sometimes that's fine, but if you're really into the game, then that's just tough shit. Expedition 33 is a prime example. I would have loved to have done some of the post-game content to some of the side stories and stuff, but I was like, dude, I have too much to play. I've got to move on. I saw the ending. I saw the credits. Maybe someday I'll come back to you. GTA 5 is another one. Dude, I put over 40 hours into this game in the last 2 weeks, and I'm at 70% completion. And I'm like, I would love to go and find the other 30, but I'm like, I got to move on to other games. So as far as tricks or method I use to finish games quickly, I love reviewing NES games, not only because I love the NES, but because a vast majority of them I can review in a couple hours or like play through enough in a couple hours to do a competent review of them. And because I don't feel the need to finish every game I review, but I do feel like I need to give it an honest, fair shake and take a big bite out of the meat on the bone. There's one of those throwbacks, and be ready for the review. And straight up, if I have the option to use save states, normally I will. I don't use them when I'm playing the game for fun for myself and I'm trying to like get good enough to beat it. But if I'm working on a game for a review, like I'm playing Resident Evil 3 right now to get ready. I'm playing it on PS Plus. Spoiler, I don't particularly like that game. And straight up, I've had to use save states a few times because I'm like, I do not have time to constantly die. And again, I know that when you're playing it for yourself, that's part of the, I don't know if charm is the word, but part of the charm of a Resident Evil game is the dying and the fighting your way back through to where you were. I'm like, I ain't got time for that. I got to get this game fucking done. So I'm save stating. So I do that. I don't often play games on easy, but once in a while, like I'm replaying, I played Resident Evil Remake for this show and beat it on normal with Chris. And now I'm doing a playthrough as Jill on easy. Cause I'm like, I don't need to fight all the bosses and have them challenging again and stuff. I just want to see what the storyline differences are. So I'm like, we're going to fly through this on easy. Yeah, and that's basically what I do. I'll lower difficulty. I will skip side content like I did in GTA 5 if need be. And I get as much out of it the best I can. The more I like a game, the more time I'm going to put into it to get ready for the review. But I try to give everything a fair shake. So, and every once in a while I take a week off from the show. Like I'm definitely going to be doing the first week of November. I'm telling y'all right now. In the next 3 weeks, I'm going to get Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 3, and Alan Wake episodes up. And then I am skipping a week in November to fucking get caught up on some games. Hoy vey. Zelda's Master Sword said, "Hola, Senor Blanco. Congrats on reaching 350. It's an incredible achievement. Did you ever imagine it would come this far? What lessons have you learned about the industry and yourself along the way?" Thank you, Zelda's Master Sword. No, I didn't. I didn't think. I figured we'd get to like 50 episodes and I'd be like, no one's listening to this. This is dumb. I quit. So I can't imagine. I never imagined we like, and I'm skeptical we'll make it to 500, but it's crazy that we made it to 350. What lessons have I learned? I think the two biggest lessons I've learned are, and this is advice I would give any budding podcaster out there. Number one is be yourself with an asterisk. The asterisk being like, if you want to do a scripted show or like one of my favorite podcasts is Swindled, hosted by a concerned citizen. It's a blue collar crime podcast. And, or is it white collar? I never remember the business one, whichever the business collar is. And he talks like this. Every word he says is like this. And it's clear by design. This is what he wants to talk like. And that's fine. Then don't be yourself. But like, if you go back and listen to Remember the Game number 1, and then you listen to Remember the Game number 350, like they both suck. But I've clearly come out of my shell and I'm just being myself and I got more comfortable behind a microphone. Just be yourself. Because otherwise, be yourself, because otherwise you're going to quit before you start gaining any kind of traction. And then the other thing I learned is that you don't have to give everything away for $2 a month. Like I did in the earliest days of the show where I was so desperate to even get a patron that I was like, here's literally everything I can make for just a couple of bucks. Please help me. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a couple of bucks, but like, you don't have to just do it all at once. Don't even treat it like a business. Honestly, dude, like the first 3 years, if you're a new podcaster, just worry about podcasting. Just worry about trying to get comfortable behind the microphone. Just talk about something you enjoy with people you enjoy. Don't even look at your downloads. They don't matter. Just have fun. And then, because I'll tell you, like I know most podcasters out there dream of making a living at it, and it is awesome, but it's not. What's the saying? Once you accept $1 for something, it's not a hobby, it's a job. And it does change the way you look at it. So pick something you're passionate about, pick something you enjoy talking about, and just be yourself and just have fun and just worry about getting better and just enjoy the ride. I wish that I feel like I did do those things. I minus the being myself. I wasn't sure what I wanted the show to be for the first 100 episodes. And I still don't really know what it is, but it is what it's become. That's all. Normally we'd be done and moving on to play one, remake one, or race one, but I'm going to answer a few more. I'm in a good mood. It's 350. Let's fucking do it. Spider Cat said, "Hey Adam, are you going to be picking up Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 for the Switch 2? I feel like we're having deja vu of October 2023 when Nintendo released Super Mario Wonder and PlayStation released Spider-Man 2 on the same day, with Ghost of Yotai dropping the same day as Galaxy. I'm definitely more pumped for Yotai, but I'm excited for Galaxy and it's coming at the perfect time. I think it'll be awesome to play in handheld mode, especially with MLB playoffs and the NHL starting up next week." And for the record, those of you writing in saying it's not Ghost of Yotai, it's Ghost of Yoti or Yoti or however the fuck you want me to say it, Yoti. I say things how I want to say them. So I'm glad it irritates you. To answer your question, Spider Cat, I don't think I'm going to pick up Mario Galaxy 1, but I do think I'm going to pick up Galaxy 2. I have Galaxy 1 on the 3D All-Stars package, but I would like to have Galaxy 2 on my handheld. But that said, it's not really that high on my priority list because I still need to replay Galaxy 1 for a review on this episode of the show first. And I do have Galaxy 1 and 2 for the Wii, and I'd kind of like to play them on the Wii for the show. So Galaxy 2 would just be a frivolous purchase for myself to have it on the go. I will grab it eventually, but it's pretty far down the depth chart as far as games I want to buy right now. I haven't even bought Everybody's Golf or Silent Hill F or Ghost of Yotai yet. And then I still want to get Mina the Hollower at the end of this month and Galaxies is someday, but I will eventually. I will eventually buy it again. Sorry, just hiccup burp there. And if you're like, dude, stop buying the games that Nintendo keeps re-releasing, I'm part of the problem, blank. That's what I do, friends. Captain Asbury Juice, my favorite juice, said, hey, Blank Man, recently I've been playing Trials in the Sky Remake. What's your opinion on all the remakes and remasters that are flooding the industry the last few years? I want to support them, but I feel I more support the notion that remakes sell rather than make new games in that series. I know that this kind of become a hot take or a hot topic, the amount of remakes and remasters and stuff that we're getting these days. I'll say it's I'm 41. I started gaming around 87, probably 86, 87 with my NES. There's so many of those old games that I love seeing the remakes and the remasters of because I want to see what they had in mind when they made it and stuff like that. As long as the remake or remaster is a quality game that I enjoy and I have fun playing, it doesn't bother me. If that's all we were getting and we weren't getting any new games, sure, it'd be different. But we are still getting new games. I think people are if you want to say there's a lot of remakes and remasters today, agreed. If you want to say we're not getting any new games because all we're getting are remakes and remasters, I can't get on board with that. That's not true. So as long as that's the case, I don't mind the remakes and remasters. Plus, you got to remember from a studio's perspective, if you're gambling tens of millions of dollars on a game and one is a brand new IP that could take off, a Clair Obscur, for example, or the other is an existing game that you're just going to remake and re-release, and it's a game that people already know exists and has a fan base out there, that's a much easier risk to take. So I understand why we're getting so many of them. Plus, the generation, my generation, and presumably yours, that grew up with those games in the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Genesis, particularly the PS1 and Nintendo 64, in my opinion, need remakes. For those of us that grew up with those games, now we've got the disposable income to buy the remakes, and we want to see the new versions, right? They're clearly selling. That's what it is at the end of the day. We all complain about how Madden is an annualized release and they don't change anything. Call of Duty is an annualized release and they don't do anything. All these remakes and remasters are just the same fucking games over and over and over again. They wouldn't keep making them if they weren't selling. So they don't really bother me. As long as we're still getting new games alongside them, I'm cool with it. It doesn't bother me. That's just, that's me. I'm sure someone will disagree and they'll fucking let me know. They'll fucking let me know. Skinny Bones Jones said, hey, Mr. Blank, I have a question. I saw an article about how a large percent of gamers have played or bought a remake this year. Although most of the remakes are very top tier, do you feel they could still be considered for Game of the Year contenders? I would hear that they can, but I honestly feel that only new properties or sequels should be considered. Just my 2 cents. Thanks for all you do. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on what makes a game qualify for Game of the Year. Mine is dude, if it dropped that year, it's available that year. I have a bigger problem with the Game Awards cutting the fucking Game of the Year off in November. And so many other sites doing that as well. So games that drop in December get left out in the dark. I have a much bigger problem with that than I do remakes and remasters being considered for Game of the Year. Because Final Fantasy VII Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake are two of my recent my personal picks for Game of the Year in the last 10 years. So I'd be a hypocrite to say that they can't win. As long as I think they're the best game or my favorite, I don't go best. I go my favorite game. That's how I pick my Game of the Year. If they were my favorite game that I played in that year, then yep, they're winning my Game of the Year. It doesn't bother me in the least. If the other games don't like it, then they should do better. King Tiki Tiki said, how has reviewing games changed your personal tastes? I know there are some games I really love and enjoy, but are not objectively considered good for valid reasons. Are you still able to find guilty pleasures in games, or are you feeling more jaded now? The only way I would say that I've turned a little bit more jaded toward video games, and listen, I love you guys. If you support my show, I am grateful beyond words, but it's more toward gamers. And I just mean not necessarily the hot dogs. I just mean gamers as a whole. like gamers have become so territorial and so jaded and so negative right away. You read the comments on a State of Play showcase or a Nintendo Direct, and it's just like, fuck Nintendo, fuck Sega, fuck Xbox, fuck PlayStation, fuck you, fuck me, fuck your parents, fuck everything. Like, it's just, there's no pleasing people anymore. So I've become more jaded toward the hobby in the sense of the other members of the hobby. But if anything, 7 years of Remember the Game has actually like opened my good eye to more and more games. I'm playing racing games that I never would have played before. I've become a huge Resident Evil fan, and I'd only ever played Resident Evil 4 and 5 before the show, and I didn't care for the old ones. And now I fucking love those games. I've played the first 3 Silent Hills, and I loved all of those games. I've become a massive fan of tactical RPGs. Grand Theft Auto, great example. I went from without Remember the Game, I would have never played another GTA. And now I'm like, dude, I can't wait for 6. And I love 5. I really like 4, and I like San Andreas. So I'm more open toward games. I'm just less interested in interacting with the general consensus of gamers, populace of gamers. You guys are cool because you support me, but you know what I'm saying. It makes sense. Doug Walsh says, Adam, sir, while recognizing that the physics of the Remember the Game universe is a fickle thing where there's no true continuity, I can't help noticing the level of disappointment you've expressed in Mario Kart World lately. I fully agree with these opinions, so I must ask, in retrospect, are you willing to publicly acknowledge that the 8 out of 10 you scored Mario Kart World was a bit too high? I don't know. And I'll tell you why. It's not my Nintendo fanboyism or my love of Mario Kart. One of the pieces of feedback I often get from all my modern game reviews on Expansion Pass is that I'm very generous with my scoring scale. Like, one of my least favorite games that I've reviewed on Expansion Pass was Paper Mario and the Origami King. And I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10. For the most part, when it comes to scoring, my thought process is like 5 out of 10 means it's barely playable and it's not fun and there's nothing redeemable about it. If I'm going to go under a 5, then I think the game is broken or not complete or not worth playing. Like, it's a fail. Do you know what I mean? So as long as a game plays as advertised and works, then it's going to get at least a 5 to a 6. And then I'm going to start going up on personal enjoyment. And so I don't know, like, Mario Kart World's not broken. It plays as advertised. I think it looks gorgeous. I like the new racing mechanics. I love the 24 players. Knockout Tour is sick. My problem with Mario Kart World is that half the tracks suck. I have no urge to go back and play it because I don't want to play those long straightaway tracks. Like, I haven't played it in months, like barely. Once in a great while I'll hop in for a race and that's it. So I'm like, I guess maybe I could be convinced to take it down to a 7.5, but I feel like it's too, the shine and quality is there. Like, I can't not give it at least a 7. It's a good game. It's just I don't like those straightaway tracks. That's my biggest problem with it. So no, I think by my scale, I think maybe I'd go to a 7.5, but I think a 7.5 or an 8 it's good. It's respectable. It's like I genuinely enjoyed like the 20 hours I put into it. I just don't feel the need to play it anymore. Which is why I can't wait to pick up Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which I'll fucking do when I finally catch up a little bit. But anyway, that's where I am on it. Wolfgang Darren said, which character do you think would make a better Metroidvania type game? Mario, Sonic, Crash, or Spyro? It would be 2D styled, but can include any other element you want for it. I'm not going to say Crash or Spyro. Well, I like both of them. I just know Mario and Sonic so much better, and I'd rather play that. Mario seems like the obvious answer with the hats and like all his different abilities you could use to get into different areas. But Sonic could be fun. I think a Sonic Metroidvania could be kind of cool. Going from like one zone to another zone, that kind of stuff. And you're giving him like, I feel like his skill set could play more into that because you could give him like Mario knows all of his jumps, but maybe Sonic could pick up shoes that let him run up walls or shoes that let him jump when he's already in the air, or, you know, tails you could swap in with or something like that. So I'm going to say Sonic. Plus, I could take or leave the general formula for Sonic games, but I like Sonic a lot, so maybe a new formula would click more with me. So I'll take a Sonic Metroidvania. Okay, I said I was going to read more, and I did, but we got to move on. Before we do, it's letter time. It's letter time. And for the first time in 350 episodes, I have an actual physical letter that was sent to me by Davis. And Davis said, I've been loving the podcast. I'm 14 years old. Thank you, Davis. Davis says, I have a couple of questions. What are your opinions on Hollow Knight? I've played through the first 4 hours of it, and it is the hardest game ever. The art and the controls are amazing, and the story is one of the best parts. Also, if you have played it, what about Silksong? Will you do a review of these 2 games ever? And if so, will you be streaming it? I don't think I'm going to ever stream it. I don't stream a lot anymore, and I just straight up don't have the attention span to stream a game as tough as Hollow Knight or Silksong. That said, Hollow Knight was my game of the year years ago. I think it's fucking spectacular, and I have put about 7 or 8 hours into Silksong, and I think it's great. I just need more time to play it. They are both tough. I don't think they're the toughest I've ever played, but they are very, very tough. But I adore both of them. And I will be reviewing Silksong at some point. I don't know if I'll ever do a Hollow Knight review, because at this point, like, what else is there to say? Everyone knows I love it. I'd probably give Hollow Knight a 9. It's great. But I will be reviewing Silksong whenever I finally get around to finishing it on Expansion Pass. And then one more question is, who is the youngest listener of this podcast? I play my mom's Super Nintendo and my dad's GBA all the time. Are there others like me? I'm not going to pretend, Davis, that I ID every listener of the show, so I don't entirely know. I know a lot of people tell me they listen with their kids, which, other than the fact that probably teaching your kids words they shouldn't know, is very cool. So thank you for doing that, everybody. But I do know there's a lot of this young generation. I get messages from people that are in their teens and stuff that listen to the show that have discovered a love of the classics and are like, dude, this is, and I think that's really, really cool. Like, I was 14 back in 1997. So, I was 14 when Final Fantasy VII was dropping, like in and around that era. So I appreciate that some of the younger generation are showing some love and respect to the classics, as they should, and their heritage. And I thank you and everybody else in your generation for listening to the show. And yeah, I don't have anything. I was going to give you guys a hard time for being young, but I'm not going to do that. Just thank you so much. And thank you for writing in. And I know normally I save these comments for the Patreons, but Davis, it was a really nice letter. He sent me a nice gift with it. And I just thought for episode 350, I'd like to read an actual letter. That was a pretty cool thing. So, okay, we went to 35 minutes. I think that's enough. Let's switch it up. Yeah, we got to go. Let's switch things up and get to the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. You know it and I know it. It's Play 1, Remake 1, Erase 1. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our patrons 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get there in just a minute. This week we're talking GTA 5, so I went with 3 Rockstar games. We've got Bully, Manhunt, and Red Dead Revolver. All PS2. I know there are other things, but PS2. 29% said they would play Red Dead, remake Bully, and erase Manhunt. So let's see what a few of you had to say here, and then I'll tell you what the right answer was. Lee Carvalho's Putting Challenge said play Bully. It's a micro GTA, and that is all a man needs. Remake Manhunt. I liked it, and I feel it could be much better 20 years later. Erase Red Dead because Cowboy GTA did not keep me engaged. I know, I can already hear the Red Dead Redemption fans getting upset about that. And I've been getting asked now that I'm done with GTA 5, will I ever do Red Dead Redemption? Very interested, but not for a while. I need a break from these fucking 50-hour odysseys, but at some point, maybe. Sound Logic, Lee Carvalho, well done. Meat, Guts, and Magic said, like the Banshee, GTS, and GTA 5, all these games stole my heart when they came out, but choices need to be made. Play Manhunt because it's a good game that didn't get a lot of attention, and I think the more primitive graphics add to the creep factor. I actually kind of agree with that. I kind of agree. Remake Bully so that when it does well, we can finally get the sequel I've been waiting for. Shoot Red Dead Revolver in the face. Not that it's a bad game, but Red Dead Redemption exists completely separate from it. Most people didn't even know about Revolver until Redemption blew up back in the day. Excuse me while I ride off into the sunset. And that's Sound Logic with that whole caveat of the butterfly effect. And there's no official rule on if you erase a game, does the rest of the series get erased? It's a dice you're willing to cast. And Meat, Guts, and Magic sounds like they cast a lot of die. So, Sweet Feet 182 said, play Bully. The crude humor and blocky PS2 gameplay is what gives this game its charm, and I wouldn't change a thing. Remake Red Dead. The graphics could use an update, and erasing it means no Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2. Erase Manhunt, because them's the rules, and you can't miss something you've never played. See, and that's the whole Red Dead Redemption thing. You roll the dice, but I can respect that. I'm not usually a fan of erasing a game you haven't played, but you're right. You can't miss it. I agree with that. Shit. Now my notes are frozen. Hang on. I'm just going to sing. Vince Fahey. says, this might be the first one of these I've ever been able to participate with. I'll play Bully since I've never played it. I'll remake Manhunt because it was a fun game on the PS2 and could benefit from today's graphics and available upgrades, and it's a game worth replaying. And I'd erase Red Dead. It was fun when it came out, but with 2 Red Dead Redemption games, it's already been improved upon, so why play the old version? And that was a lot of the logic this week, was like, despite the fact that 29% said they would play Red Dead, a lot of the comments where people showed their work were like, erase Red Dead because we've got Redemption. Which I don't know if you get redeemed without the original, but I don't know. I'm going with a piddly 9% of you. 9% of you got it right this week. As did Highly Paid Racer, who said, Manhunt shocked me in a good way. I hadn't played anything like it and it really pushed the boundaries at the time. Here in Chazwaza land, we had the super strict censorship laws for gaming prior to 2010 or so. I can't remember how I got it, but it was awesome and subversive. Remake Manhunt into something similarly groundbreaking for today so I can get that feeling back. I'll play Red Dead because I never have and can't wait to get started with it, and then through the Redemption games once I find 200 hours to spare, and that leaves me erasing Bully, a game I enjoyed but never finished. A fun story, but ultimately quite repetitive. Not an easy choice, blank man. Same logic, completely different reasoning for me. I'm going to play Red Dead because of all the Red Dead games, the only one I've played is about 10 hours of Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Steam Deck, and I thought it was cool, said I'll come back to it, never did, so I might as well start at the beginning and play through Red Dead. And then I was torn on the remake, but I think I'm going to remake Manhunt, because while I do agree with whoever it was that said that those horror games kind of come across as more scary with the classic graphics and stuff, I did play Manhunt 2 on my Wii, scared the shit out of me. I do want to play the first one, and it probably would be more playable with modern controls and modern graphics. It might turn out to be too scary for me, but I don't know what I've said before, with the exception of maybe sports games, if there's a genre that's benefited more from the advances in graphics and tech than horror games. And then I'm going to erase Bully, because while I love Bully, I've beat it. I don't really feel the need to ever play it again. I don't have to risk any sequels getting erased because there hasn't been any. So good times, but I just don't need you anymore, Bully. I'm sorry. That's it. Thank you, everybody that wrote in and played along as always. We got to keep this. We're at 40 minutes. These get longer and longer. What have I been playing over the last week? Pretty much entirely Grand Theft Auto 5 and Resident Evil Remake. I finished both. Trying to get through a second playthrough of Remake before we do that episode. And then I'm about halfway through Resident Evil 3 to get ready for an episode of that, which, nah. I've played a little bit of Silk Song when I can find time. And then just this morning, I started Alan Wake because that won our Scary Game Patreon poll. So I want to cover it before the end of the month. I finished the first chapter. Intrigued. Need to see what happens, but intrigued. What a funky concept for a game. Very intrigued by Alan Wake. Okay, that's it. We're going to pause here. We're going to let a sponsor in. They will do their thing. And when we get back, it is GTA 5 time, okay? Remember, the game will be back after these messages. This is an ad by BetterHelp. Did you know that October 10th is World Mental Health Day? Shout out to the therapists out there helping people improve their lives day in and day out. I've talked about my experiences with therapy for years, and I'll never forget the first time talking to a therapist really clicked with me. I had quit my warehouse job, I was trying to make a go of being a comedian, and every day I woke up and I just felt like a piece of garbage. Like I was wasting my time. This whole idea was stupid. I ruined my life. I talked to a therapist and she really helped me gain the confidence to know I wasn't doing anything wrong by chasing a dream. And that if I believed in myself, if I really worked hard, nobody else's opinions mattered. It was a big deal for me. The right therapist can help you level up so fast, and BetterHelp has over 12 years of experience in matching people with the therapist for them. BetterHelp's therapists adhere to a strict code of conduct, and they're fully licensed in the U.S. You fill out a quick questionnaire to let them know what's on your mind, and they match you up with one of their over 30,000 therapists suited to your needs. And if it's not a fit, you can swap therapists anytime for no additional charge. BetterHelp has helped over 5 million people around the world. Why not give them a shot? This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take a step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. So just a quick heads up before I get into GTA 5 talk. I've started using that segue. Remember, the game will be back after these messages. I've been thinking about, in addition to the ads, like during the ad slot there, sneaking in like an old video game commercial, like the audio of an old video, like an old Mario commercial or Sonic or something like that. Yay or nay? Let me know if that's something you guys think would be fun. I think that could be a good time. If just during the ad breaks, I'm like, remember the game will be back after these messages. And then it goes into like a video game commercial. And then I could do my sponsor ad and then come back to the show. If you're a Patreon, you'll just get the video game commercial and come back to the fun stuff. Oh yeah, because that's what I should be saying is when I get back, I should be like, we now return to remember the game. That's what I should be. I'll get it. It's a new concept. I'll get there. We're talking GTA 5. It is time. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off on the game we're covering before my guest and I hog the microphone. Andre and I went for about an hour and 20 minutes, and we had a ton of write-ins about this game, as I'm sure you can imagine. Not all praising it, mostly, but not all. So I'm going to read a whole bunch of your comments here as well, and then we'll get into our talk about GTA 5. Condi85 said, I played this game when it first came out and remember talking to my friend about how the world is so deep and detailed it's a work of art with nothing to compare it to. I replayed the game on the PS5 edition last year, and I still think it's the deepest, most impressive open-world game I've ever seen, with games coming out 2 generations later not holding up to it. It's also the only GTA game I finished, and I finished it twice. Definitely one of the best games of all time. I actually agree with practically every word of that. And you know what? I can go as far as to say I will start another file of GTA 5 at some point. This is going to become one of my, like, I just need to relax for a little while. I'm going to play some GTA 5. I agree with that, Condi. Well said. Cesar said, this game is like your virginity. You can't forget your first time experiencing it. I was 16 when it came out, so I had to beg my mom to buy it for me, since in the US, you need to be 17 to buy M-rated games. Surely GTA Online has contributed to its success, but the single player is unforgettable, truly a game changer. Hopefully GTA 6 can surpass this beauty of a game. Well done. And dude, that's why I keep saying, like, people are upset that how long GTA 6 has taken. Do you have any idea how high that bar is? They take all the fucking time you need. It genuinely is the biggest game release ever. They need to get that game right. Take your time, friends. David DeLong said, I played this for the first time this year. I can't believe I waited so long. 10 out of 10 game. And Trevor is just Johnny Knoxville. Or is that just me? That's not a bad pull. I thought of somebody else. I'll tell you who it is on the episode. You reminded me of somebody else. Handsome Major Angus McZongo Esquire said, I was a huge GTA fan from 2 to 5. I could never get into this game or complete it. It's a fun open world. Many side missions or jobs. Nothing seemed particularly fun or had any consequence. I'm not an online player, so maybe that was the hook. I mean, you're not the only one that wrote in saying as someone that does struggle to get into open world games, this one clicked with me after, you'll hear when, but a few people wrote in saying that they're kind of like, on GTA 5. It's fascinating. So it's just it just goes to show that literally there's nothing that everyone on this planet likes. Literally nothing, including video games. Alucard Slays Mario said, I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of the PS2 GTA games, and the PS1 games are a dumpster fire. I enjoyed GTA 4, but it was never going to top my list. So when I started 5, I expected it to be just okay. Holy unicorn balls, was I wrong. The story in this game topped anything anyone had done before, until Expedition 33 at least. And unlike other GTA games, when you get a mission that just sucks, you skip it, try again later. No more GTA rage quits for me, just GTA rage skips. I agree, dude. The checkpoints and stuff in this game are choice. They agreed. One of the many things they did right in this game. Well said. Stoned Old Gamer said, I've been waiting for this episode for literally years. It's been a journey for you in the GTA world, but this is by far the best game. The three characters all different work so well. And Trevor, what can we say about Trevor? Might be the best GTA character yet. Played this game so many times over the last 13 years, and to say GTA 6 is my most anticipated game is a level 1 on the hot take level of gaming takes. Nice pull, Stoned Old Gamer. I'm just going to read. I don't want to give away my review. I have some thoughts on Trevor, but you'll hear those. Space Bass said, hot take. It's okay. And then you get Trevor. Is there a more fun character in the GTA universe than Trevor? I submit that there is not. I'm probably being a bit harsh as the game is thoroughly entertaining and both Michael and Franklin are well written and fun in their own ways, but Trevor makes the game for me. Just so funny, and now I can't separate him from anybody Stephen Ogg plays in TV shows, which made the parts of Walking Dead he was in unintentionally hilarious. Dude, I saw an interview where he was just talking about how he's sick of being called Trevor or something. I don't know if that's true. He's from Edmonton too. Trevor's from Edmonton. Basically, I'm Trevor. Is where I would go with that. Minus the crippling meth addiction. Mine's not crippling. Not yet. Matteo said, I've played GTA games since the first, and 5 is just an amazingly fun game. Keyword is fun. The open world action and story are all top of the line. Even this many years later, the experience is the epitome of gaming, even if it doesn't 100% hit with you. If there was a Mount Rushmore of games, this has earned its place on it as a historic classic. I would not... Now that I've played it and experienced it, I would not shrug off somebody saying GTA 5 belongs on the Mount Rushmore of games. I don't know if I'm fully there, but I'm not opposed to that. That doesn't seem crazy to me. Wog said Rockstar knocked it out of the park with this game from start to finish. It was always fun to switch to the other characters to see what they were up to. I switched to Trevor one time and he was in a 3-star chase wearing nothing but his underwear. I knew at that moment this game was special. I love it. Try online. It's pretty fun. The heists are amazing. I'm going to be honest. I probably am not, because a lot of people have reached out and been like, you got to try online. I don't do a lot of online. I don't have any friends. I'm probably not going to if I put my cards on the table. I'm not doubting it's not fun. Trust me, dude, after playing GTA 5, if someone tells me something related to this game is fun, I believe you, because this game is fun. But I'm probably not going to play the online. I just have a lot going on, that's all. Rose636 said, this is the game that finally made me think that I don't like GTA or Rockstar games. I've played all the mainline entries, but this is the only one I haven't finished. It's too large, too full of bloat, and too full of screw it. Let's add in yet another mini game just because. I can appreciate the level of detail and intricacy on display, but when I go back to a main story mission and go in wondering, wait, what am I doing here again? Oh yeah, I did that prior to story mission 5 hours ago, didn't I? Maybe that says more about me than them, but I hated constantly getting distracted by the new thing that they were trying to distract me with. Just let me play the game. And I know a lot of people said that as well, and I don't think that's an unfair take, Rose. I will say, as someone that, like, 80% of my time I spent just working on the main campaign, I didn't run into that. But I get, it's optional, right, to go off and do that stuff, but I do get how the more off into the woods you get, the more lost you are. I understand. And finally, Stupid Sexy Flanders said, even though I've played through the story a number of times, I always find something new. GTA 5 has a great story, awesome missions, and mini games. And as far as I'm concerned, Trevor is a top 5 all-time character. A lot of love for old Trevor. Wow. I mean, he is cool. You know what? I'll tell you what I think about him right now. It's time to get to the episode. If you're new to the show and you're like, Jesus Christ, Adam, 47 minutes for you to get to the show, it's Remember the Game. It's what we do. Most of our intros aren't quite this long. I read more comments than normal this week. But it's episode 350. It's GTA 5. I wanted to fucking celebrate. So why the fuck not, right? Why the fuck not, Curtis? Let's talk GTA 5 with my buddy Andre. I'm going to cue up some GTA 5 music. I don't think I can use any of the licensed music, so hopefully they've got more generic tunes like the opening one that I used. Otherwise, I'll be using that again. But when it stops, we will be talking GTA 5, which originally released on the PS3 and the Xbox 360 on September 17th of 2013. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Let's go. All right, joining me on a Sunday evening, a succulent Sunday evening to talk GTA 5, and I'm very excited to say, with all due respect to Grand Theft Auto 5, close this chapter of my life, because all I have done for the last 14 days, well, most part, is play Grand Theft Auto 5. It's my buddy Andre. Andre, how are you? Let's start simple. How are you?
I am doing phenomenal. Had a good weekend. I went and saw wrestling on Friday. So much wrestling over the last couple of weeks, and yeah, it's a good week. It was a good weekend. Got some stuff done at home this weekend. It's a good weekend.
And let's not forget that the Broncos ended the Philadelphia Eagles' ambitions for a perfect season about 4 hours ago. I had to. I
had to give a shout out to my channel, Our Local Establishment, right now, because I predicted the Broncos to win that game, and they did. I picked them. They won. I got the point in their predictions game. I did a good job there.
Wins all around. So make no mistake, Eagles fans. Like I like Philly. I have no beef with you.
Yeah. I have beef with Philly. Go check that out on Point of View over on Our Local Establishment. You'll see me rant about Philly.
You were destined to lose that game. Grand Theft Auto 5. This is where we are. Some of you, I know how anticipated this episode has been. Andre's been asking me to cover this game pretty well since the show started. We're finally here. We're finally ready to do it. Like I said, I played this pretty nonstop for the last 2 weeks. As I probably said during the intro, we're not really going to get into online. I didn't touch it. I just stuck to the story. And before everybody asks, I did not do everything. I was saying to Andre off air, I think I finished at about 70%, 40 hours, about a 70% completion. I saw it through to the end. I watched the other two endings, so I know I made the right decision. We'll get into the endings. We'll get into all that. I want to just say out of the gate, wow. I'm not I don't even think I can say I'm not the biggest GTA fan anymore, because Vice City, and I'm gonna kick it to you in a second because I don't know where you're ranking these, but like Vice City, I played it back in the day and it was cool, great concept, but the controls made me so angry that I was like, I got bored and run away from the cops. I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. And then with Remember the Game, I finally went and played some other ones. San Andreas, still frustrating at times. The flying can eat my whole ass, but it was entertaining. And James Woods was very entertaining in that game. So that was
very much so. Very much so.
Good game. Then I played Grand Theft Auto 4 a couple years ago, and I thought it was actually quite superb. I really enjoy that game a lot. I mean, go back and listen to the reviews. I really liked Grand Theft Auto 4. I know what Grand Theft Auto 5's legacy is. I know this game sold 200 some million fucking copies. I know that it's like one of the biggest games of all time. I wasn't quite sure how it would top 4 for me because I liked 4 so much. But I have to say, Andre, Grand Theft Auto 5, I played the Xbox Series X version, but keeping in mind that this was a PS3, Xbox 360 game at one point, I'm not saying it's the best, but this might be the single most impressive video game that I've ever played in my entire life. It is the size, the fact that there's no loading screens, the fact that like you can interact with so much and do so many things, and it seems borderline flawless, like to go from one to another. I mean, I know you. Go ahead. I'm.
Yeah.
This is your favorite. Is this your favorite GTA?
I will say GTA 4 is this game is utter perfection. It's a far better game, but GTA 4 because of Nico and Roman is my favorite. It's the character, the most perfect characters in that one. But this game is absolutely phenomenal. Like
it's sick.
You look at this and you just the fact that you control 3 main characters, 3 completely different characters that all have their own way. Like again, everything plays the same, but they each kind of have their own thing, and it's very interesting to have all 3 storylines in this game wind together so well.
Yeah, it was one of the things that really impressed me because I'm going to be honest, like I knew there was the 3 main protagonists. I didn't know who the 3 protagonists were. I just knew there was the 3 guys because like I'd seen the commercials and everything. And from the minute I said I'm going to start playing GTA 5, people have been like Trevor. And I had no idea who the fuck Trevor was. Now I do. We'll get there. I get it now. But that's one of the things I wanted to shout out right out of the gate as well is once you've unlocked isn't the right, I guess, but like, you know, a few hours, like most of you have probably played it. You start out with Michael and Franklin, and then pretty quick into the game, you get Trevor, and now you've got the Holy Trilogy, and you can you can flop between the trio pretty well anytime you want. You can switch from one to another, and it's so cool when you like hold the down button and bring up that little pie meter chart switch, whatever you want to call it, thing. And you like say you're playing as Franklin, and then you select Trevor. The way that it like it doesn't, it's so. I know it's a stupid thing, but with the size of this game, I was almost floored at the way that like instead of it going to just like now loading, the camera would like do that like, and then it would just zoom across the city and then and zoom in on Trevor, and you know you'd pick him up passed out behind a dumpster, and he'd throw a beer bottle down and stand up or whatever the fuck. The way you so seamlessly switch between these 3 characters, and they've got this interwound story between the 3 of them, and the way they're being manipulated by the FIB and all that stuff. But then they've also got their own side stories of Michael with his family and Trevor with, well, being Trevor and, you know, Franklin and Lamar and everything, which again, we'll get into. I agree with you. Like if you had told any one of these 3 guys' stories, I would have been like, wow, that was really cool. But that you made all 3 of them work so seamlessly was just, you're going to hear the word impressive a lot. I was really impressed by that. It was a lot of fun. As soon as you got bored of one character, you just swapped to somebody else.
Yeah, and again, because each, like, again, they all technically play the same. It's not like a game where you're playing one character and differs from another. Because again, it's all the same mechanics throughout each. But each one's storyline, how they interact with people, how they do certain things. Like if you go, like there's a strip club it's in the game. If you go in with Franklin, you get one reaction. You go with Michael, you get another. You go in with Trevor, you get literally the strippers are going, "Ew, you're gross." It's those little things when you're interacting with characters in different points, like of this game, as certain characters, to see the differences in it. And just to see how it all works, I really love that. And then like how each character has their own little, like there's weird little side missions with this random random people on the map pop up every now and again. You go do a mission with them. So having all of that and how the characters and there's a couple of people that cross between those little side missions cross between these people, and how they interact with those same characters is really interesting to see how it all works. But it's so smooth together.
Yeah, it is. And you're right, because like they do all play the same for the most part. Like, you know, I mean, it's one thing I actually really liked about this game was that like each of the three characters had like their own stat, like the same categories but different. You know,
Levels,
like
yeah.
Michael's cardio is better than Trevor's cardio, or whatever the fuck, stamina, whatever the fuck, like stuff like that. I liked that each character had their own stats, and I liked that the stats leveled up as you played the game. But I liked that they got away, like, was it I think it was San Andreas, where there's like a point where you like if you haven't leveled up your swimming, you just have to go level up your swimming. You
Yeah.
know, and it's like, and it's so I hated that shit. And so I liked that I never even there's a part early on in this game where Michael tells Franklin, like, hey, go to the gun range and get some, you know, work on your shooting. And I was just like, fuck, dude, don't make me grind for these stats. That's so boring. But it didn't. I went to the gun range once, did some shooting, and it was fun. And then it was like, if you want to keep doing it, go ahead, but you don't really have to. And I was like,
And
perfect. And I loved
and
that system.
and if you shoot enough people on the street, it'll up your shooting anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah. And like
And
there is one of those like little random person side missions really early in the game where Michael has to like race some girl in like
on foot.
triathlon
By
or
the
whatever.
beach.
Like
Yeah.
they run and then they're biking and then they're swimming or whatever. Like the last replay probably a couple of years ago that I did, I knew that was there, so I went and just had Michael I had him constantly like running everywhere early on just to get and just I saw his stamina go way up, and so by the time I raced this girl, I crushed her because my stamina was so high. I was just so far in front of her during the running, the
like,
biking parts.
Because Michael's got great stamina, but the whole game everybody's calling him fat. Like everyone's like, "Oh, it's fat Michael, fat lazy Michael, moves
Especially
Michael."
Trevor. Trevor
Yeah.
it's Trevor and Michael's wife too. She's constantly at him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, if he's fat, I was like, man, I've let myself go. Jesus Christ. But I love that. And then another thing I really liked was that each of the three of them had their special. The only thing I'll say about how you you click the two analogs and like Franklin, everything slows down when he's driving, which was handy as fuck in some missions. That was
like, dude. So when I play this, like the races you do in this game, they are so much easier when you have Franklin's ability.
oh yeah, it's
Oh, the
wild.
races are so easy to win when you have his ability. So
Yeah.
easy.
And then I will say, like, it's not even a nitpick, but like I did find because I did like was Michael and Trevor's difference just that Michael was like a sharpshooter and Trevor became like invincible. Like I got
yeah.
right, like they felt the same, other than Trevor could take more damage. Like I got the impression because Trevor, you find out his special when he goes to that I can't remember their name now, but the motorcycle gangs like trailer park, it just destroys them all like right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I got the impression that he was like straight up high on meth.
Oh,
when
100%.
he was in his ability,
Oh,
and I was just
it's I 100%. Like, I can't say this for 100%, sure, but it's got to be that because the dude is literally Breaking Bad out in the desert. He's high on drugs when he gets a superpower.
Yeah, it was
he's high on
wild.
drugs.
I felt like such an old boomer because again, I've never played this game that everyone else has fucking played. And every time I'd like finish a session, I'd be like talking to Shaylee and I was like, holy fuck, I just unlocked this fucking character. And his special move is I'm pretty sure he's just wigged out on meth. And then you can like kill everybody and nobody can fucking hurt him. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, and so like having the three special abilities was really cool. I really enjoyed the occasional mission where all three of them, and we'll get into some of the missions, but I really enjoyed how in some missions all three were there and you could like swap between them and use each one's skill set in a different part of the mission and stuff like that. Like I'm excited now. I went from like GTA 6, I kind of have to play it because I'm a video game content creator and it's the biggest game. I truly believe it's the biggest game in the history of video games. It's gonna be the GTA 6 launch. It's gonna be the biggest ever.
It really is. Again, this is the game that's by the time it comes out, 13 years in the making.
Yeah,
it's kind of the biggest deal because like everybody has known about it for so long. Everybody knew about it since GTA 5 came out. You knew there would be another one. Again, I never thought we'd wait this long for the game. But again, GTA Online prints money, so why stop it, right? But
and we'll get more. I want to get more into 6 at the end of this episode, but I was just going to say that it's the most anticipated game probably ever. Like if ever there was a game where you need to take your time and get it right, it's going to be GTA 6.
Oh yeah, because like there's even some of the most casual gamers in this world have played GTA 5. Yeah. The most casual gamers in this world played GTA 5. So they're it's I think GTA 5 alone is one of the highest selling games of all time.
Yeah, it's number 2 after Minecraft. Yeah.
Yeah. So you gotta think that minimum 50% of the gaming world is waiting for this game. So you kind of have to be perfect, and especially coming off a game as well received as Grand Theft Auto 5 was, you have to exceed what Grand Theft Auto 5 did.
Yeah,
you have to.
And one of the things that I'm excited about now with 6 is that I get the impression that you'll be able to switch between at least the guy and the woman, like at least 2 characters. And now that I've had the chance to do that in GTA 5, I'm like, I want that again. Because I really when it first gave me the ability to switch from one character to another, I'll be honest, it's not that I wasn't down, but I was like, is this just a gimmick? Like, is this really a thing, or is this just going to be kind of a gimmick? And then I quickly realized, like, nah, dude, this is really well done. This is not just a gimmick. Mm-hmm. There's a reason for this. And like we said, we might as well talk about the 3 because that's the soul of the game is these 3 characters.
Oh, 100%.
So Franklin, I believe because you start out playing that flashback, which I didn't quite understand at first, but now obviously we'll get to.
It's a setup. It's just a setup on how you get to where Trevor and Michael really are in the game. But again, it's incidental, really, because you don't know the characters when you're first playing. You really don't understand the characters at that point.
No, you don't even understand who you're playing as. Yeah. So then when you fire up when you get into the main game, Franklin is repossessing cars without cause for this crooked car dealership.
And, good.
Which is a great way to start the game. And you fucking start out by stealing Michael's son's car from within Michael's fucking house. And even doing that, like, I had no idea that like Michael was like one of the characters in the, like, I didn't, like, you're stealing this fucking car. And that's how like Franklin and Michael kind of are like, hey, all right, like because Franklin is just like a petty thug. Yeah. He lives in a pretty
with his boy Lamar.
With his boy Lamar, which I have to say, some of the most entertaining dialogue in the game is Franklin and Lamar.
Oh my
going
God.
back and forth with each other. Fuck, they made me laugh.
The way those two play off each other is absolute perfection, and just the way, like, because Lamar's just because you can see this Franklin's the guy that just kind of wants to improve his life, and he's trying to grind his way up, and Lamar's just like, I just want to be a gangster. Let's just be gangsters.
Yeah, there was really early on they had a fucking interaction. You had to do a mission with Franklin and Lamar where they brought Chop, Lamar's dog.
Yep.
And you're like chasing some guy down, and you're in like a train yard. And
then you have to switch with the dog too?
Yeah, you get to play as Chop, which is really rad. But I was driving there, and I hit something, as you do in Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. And Lamar goes, man, you's an uncoordinated motherfucker. And God, it just made me laugh. I really enjoyed the back and forth between those two, and I liked Franklin because here it's one of the things about this game as we go through these 3 main characters is that like none of the 3 of them are good people. Like all 3 of them are pieces of shit. Like all 3 of them are crooks. But at least
they're each levels of shitty. There's different levels of shitty between these characters.
Absolutely. And Franklin is for my money, the most redeemable of the 3. Unless you go
100%,
with his 100%. Bad endings, which we'll get to. But I liked Franklin for most of the game because he really is like, I mean, I guess the proper argument would be that Franklin's goal is to like, go back to school and get a job where he's not killing and stealing, and that's his better life. But his goal isn't that. His goal is to just move up to better projects and do better things instead of just these fucking stupid car repossessions and stuff like that. And so then you find out that Michael is, and you don't know his whole backstory yet, obviously, but Michael is this, piece of shit thief, as you find out, this robber, and he lives in this fucking like mansion, and he kind of takes Franklin under his wing, and the 2 of them are just kind of working together and everything like that. And again, everyone's asking me like, have you met Trevor? And I'm like, no, I don't know who the fuck Trevor is. And I was having fun just playing the game as Michael and Franklin. And I really thought Yeah, and I really thought that's what it was going to be. Was going to be this like older fucking rich successful bank robber taking this new thug, this young guy under his wing and kind of showing him the ropes. And then that all falls apart when Michael comes back to his house, and like Michael's family's a fucking disaster. His daughter's a fucking whore. You have to go out to that fucking yacht and save her from the fucking
You have to save her
gangsters and the
from
jet
that.
ski away.
You have to save her from this she's auditioning on some like reality TV show. So you have to stop her from that. This girl is just a complete train wreck,
She's a
man.
train wreck. And then your son is just this fucking piece of shit who sits in his room and
What?
smokes pot and plays games and jerks off all day and doesn't fucking
What?
do anything.
His kid being a dumbass is just the reason these two, because he Franklin's stealing his car and then Michael's in the back and then forces him to drive through the dealership.
Yeah.
It's a perfect way that these two characters meet, because you just realize these are both pieces of shit, but these are our pieces of shit.
Oh, and one of the funnest things about GTA games, and especially this one did it so
Yeah.
well, was like I was saying to Shaylee, you get to do all these like zany, over the top, fucking stupid criminal activities. And they're things that would get you killed or ruin your life and get you thrown in jail, obviously, and horrible things to do in real life. But it's fun to just escape into this weird reality where like anything, like there's so many off the wall missions in this game, anything can happen. And one of the earliest missions when Michael and Franklin are working together is your kid calls and your boat has been stolen, and Michael's son is in the boat. So now you're driving down the fucking highway chasing this fucking boat, and Franklin has to climb out of the car and climb onto the boat.
And you're
And
like shooting the boat, trying to disable it, but then you have to catch it, but then you gotta keep shooting at the guys that are in there while the sun is hanging off the mast or whatever.
Dad, help me, Dad!
But you have to make sure you
shit.
don't shoot, because I've shot the kid, and it restarts the and you're like, God damn it, because you're trying to shoot the guys that are shooting at you on top of it all. It is a weirdly annoying mission.
I also want to say, on the note of like shooting the sun and failing the mission, shout out to the checkpoints in this one.
Oh yeah,
because that's one of the most frustrating things about classic GTA is like, doing these long missions over and over and over. Like, shout out to this one for the really solid.
Because if you shoot them in the back half, it'll only bring you to like I think the tunnel, and then you coming out of the tunnel still chasing it. Like it'll bring you back to part way through the chase, not making you redo the entire chase. Thank Christ.
Yeah, it's a great system. Great system.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff is fun, and the two of these guys are like kind of friends, and they're kind of working together, and I'm getting on board, and I'm thinking that's what this game is going to be. And then you get this fucking scene where Michael comes home and finds out that his wife is banging. It wasn't the yoga guy. Not yet.
It was the yoga guy.
Because is that whose house he destroys when he goes and pulls the band?
Yeah.
Is it?
He doesn't destroy his house. He chases the yoga instructor into the hills and ends up destroying.
Oh no, it was his tennis coach. It was her tennis coach.
Tennis coach. You're right.
So, yeah,
but I'm pretty sure she was screwing the yoga teacher too.
Yeah,
it's pretty obvious.
So then he goes to like this house where the tennis coach is, and you're thinking like you're gonna have a scene where you kill somebody as you do a GTA or whatever the fuck. No. You hook chains up to this giant balcony off the side of the house, drive away and pull the house down and ruin this fucking house.
Right, like it's in the Hollywood Hills or whatever it is there, and it just collapses an entire like half the house just falls down the hill.
Yeah,
it is so funny.
And people that were like talking to me, because I was talking about this on a couple of my recording streams and stuff, and I was saying that like I'm not hating GTA 5. I was like, but I'm not in love. I'm kind of like, This was where I was when I was saying that, and the reason I was saying it was because I was like, I know how off the wall the missions could be in GTA and all that. Like I get that, but I'm coming off GTA 4 that I really, really liked. And I thought, well, ridiculous and a little bit over the top. GTA 4, I feel, is semi-grounded in realism. Like it's a darker game, I felt, and there was like some genuineness to it. Like it wasn't just zany missions. And now here I am in GTA 5 and I'm 3 hours into the game and we just fucking pulled a house down. And now some mob boss comes and gets me and he's like, that was my fucking house or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, so now we need to go make money to fix this guy's house. And I was thinking to myself, like, this seems kind of like, is that what this whole game is going to be? Are these silly because obviously it's an extreme reaction. And I was kind of like, this is kind of dumb. But then I realized that, like, so you plan out that heist, the first one where you rob the jewelry store, which I actually thought I know we're all over the map here, but I thought that was a great system as well, where you get to pick your helpers, and the higher their skill is, the more cut you have to give them, but the more you'll be able to take from the robbery.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I liked it because like you do the mission where you gotta like sneak into the cell phone company or whatever, and you end up killing the head of the cell phone company by blowing the phone up or
oh
whatever. With the
yeah, 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 where you blow the phone
but
up on TV.
there's a dude from there that you get, and you can put him in the heist where he's not as good of a hacker, but if you use him, you actually build his stats up, but he always costs an insanely little amount, so you get more money by using him. And there's multiple characters throughout the game as you do that.
Yeah, and I really, really liked that system. Like when you go and rob that jewelry store, you've got to pick like I can't remember, like it's been a couple of weeks now, but I know you have to hire like a hacker that'll keep the alarms offline.
That's
And
that, yeah. Ricky is the one that is the guy you get from the other company, but
okay,
it's just the alarm goes off sooner with him. But honestly, it's worth it to use him late because he ups his stats. So using him in the later ones, it's better way
he's
to do it.
better. It's
Yeah.
really cool. Like, so if you want to pay for a more expensive hacker, they'll take a bigger cut of the money. And I didn't know this. Like, I understood they got a bigger cut, but I didn't quite understand how it would work. Once you get into robbing that jewelry store, and the whole reason you're robbing the jewelry store is to come up with enough money to pay for the house you destroyed, so this mob boss doesn't kill you and your family. But when you go to rob that jewelry store, like if you hire a cheap hacker, you'll only get like 60 seconds to go around and smash jewel cases, and you see the amount stolen or the take at the bottom is going up. Whereas if you pay more for a better hacker, you'll get more time. You can steal more things. Same with like you can pay for better shooters, like other people, henchmen. And I really liked that system throughout the game because, like you said, as they level up, like I had one guy, I don't remember any of their names, but I had one guy that was like one of my. I brought him to every mission, and by like the second heist or whatever, all of his stats were maxed, and he just was. And they kept saying like, "Oh yeah, we've worked with this guy before. Like this guy's great."
Oh,
And I kept
Ed,
bringing him every
Eddie
time.
Toe, Eddie
I
Toe, I think he
Yeah,
was
I
the one.
couldn't remember his
He was
name.
one of my one of my drivers that I always used.
He was
Him,
just
but
aces.
yeah, 100%. But
Yeah.
he costs a little more, but he was worth taking out right off the hop.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what a great system. Like this is going to be a lot of fun. Not to mention that it gives you like multiple routes through the like how do you want to do this? Do you want to be stealth? Do you want to sneak in or you want to
Mhm.
smash and grab? I love Lester, that little wiener that
Uh,
plans the trips. I
yep.
think he's great.
And
Will
just doing all the
say,
little Lester missions, and he's just such a prick every time you succeed in getting something for the mission. He's just a prick about it. Like
yeah,
he's
and
because obviously, I think Lester was one of the guys he was the one that got shot in the initial heist, in the flashback heist at the start. I'm pretty sure he's the dude that got shot. He's one of the guys that got shot. Because
oh,
he's
that
walking
would make
around
sense.
with
I
the
never
limp
thought of
the whole
that, but that would
time.
make
So
sense.
I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was one of the guys. So you can understand his bitterness as having seen Michael having a good, comfortable life, and he's living in this like run down a house and working out of the factory. Well, making his own money on the side, you
Sure.
can see the bitterness he has towards Michael because he's always shitty towards Michael. But when he's interacting with Franklin, when you're doing stuff for him, he's pretty chill with Franklin. He's
Yeah.
really shitty with Michael and eventually with Trevor.
I really liked Lester. I loved that you got to choose which way you wanted to go through the job, and then
Mhm.
that would change how you did it and everything. For the record, I smash and grabbed on the jewelry store because I was like, I'm
Uh,
not doing anything stealth,
I
smashing and
did both,
grabbing.
but I prefer the actual like the gassing the store way. I like that version. I quite
Oh
like
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's brilliant because that's one of the ways to give you some replay. If you want to go back and play missions, or if you want to play through the whole game again, take on a different way. It's fucking so goddamn. Like again,
Well,
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the game.
and with that one, you can actually you can go with the lower gunman too, because if you do the gas, you don't need the gunman as much because you only need him kind of in the runaway, and by that point you're already switching over to your driver. And you
Oh,
just
that
go
makes
with the high.
sense.
I find it for Eddie. If you do the crazy way, you go Eddie Toe, but I can't remember the other driver's name. But if you do that's way, that means you can level up your gunman much faster if you
Okay.
go that way because he doesn't need to do as much, and he's kind of gets through it.
Right. That makes
Yeah,
sense. So
yeah.
you rob this fucking jewelry store, and then and again at this point I'm kind of like, okay, so like was this whole because like obviously the going and pulling the fucking house down was such a stupid overreaction and everything, right? And then I'm like, so I was like, so was this whole thing just to set up the first heist of the jewelry store? Because I was like, so then I started to come back a bit because I thought the heist of the jewelry store was pretty rad in the way that the more the more you spent on your help, the more money you get out of it and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, all right, I guess I still think that the destroying of the house was kind of dumb, but all right, it's an excuse to rob the jewelry store. Game's rolling, we're fine. But then you get that clip where the one security guard witness or whoever says, what does he say? People like, he's like, Michael says to him, people forget 1,000 things a day. Make sure this is one of those things, or whatever the fuck the line is that Michael says to him. And then the guy says it on the news, and Trevor, who's living out in the fucking sticks in this trailer running a meth lab, he's got Ron and what was that guy's name?
I have
the
that name.
Fucking poor kid that he fucking just beats on and goes and takes over his cousin's house and everything. I can't remember his name now, but
I can't remember his name.
He's got his lackeys out there that he fucking bosses around, and he fucking makes them go to work and all that kind of stuff. But he sees that clip on TV and recognizes that line and realizes, because he thought, like, you even see the big tattoo Trevor has on his arm, like, rest in peace to my brother Michael.
Is it Wade?
Yeah, Wade. Yeah.
Yeah, Wade.
So he sees that, like, he's resting in peace, his brother Michael, and now he sees that clip and he thinks, like, wait a minute, Michael's still alive. And that's what brings Trevor to Michael's house and reunites the two friends from the initial robbery where Trevor thought Michael was dead and all that. And that's the moment, for those of you that were watching my pre-streams and I was changing my opinion on this game, that was the moment my mind changed about GTA 5, because then I was like, well, I still think the ripping down the balcony and stuff was kind of, it's not that it wasn't entertaining, it was just kind of dumb. But now I'm like, okay, so that whole thing was to get Michael to come out of retirement, commit this big robbery, and say his trademark line so that Trevor would see it, realize that Michael's still alive, brings him back into Michael's life. Now the FIB is back up their ass because they cut the deal with that guy David, and now David's and now everything, the pin has been pulled, and now Trevor's here, and now we're off to the races. That was the moment I fell in love with this game, was right there, because now we've got all three characters, and I love that throughout the entire game. It's like, whenever you're doing missions with Michael and that FIB guy David, or whatever the fuck his name is, you're slowly learning the backstory of that robbery from the beginning of the game. And I love, dude, when it was fully explained that, like, Trevor thought Michael died on that robbery, and Trevor thinks that Brad, the third man from their team, is in prison. But then you find out that Brad's the one that died. He's in Michael's.
Sorry, it wasn't Lester. Sorry, it was Brad. It was Brad. Yeah, sorry.
Right. Yeah.
So it wasn't Lester, but Lester got screwed over by Michael at some point.
Right. So then Trevor. So then we find out that Brad is dead, buried in Michael's grave, because the FIB, that David guy, cut a deal with Michael. Michael's living in, like, witness protection. He's loaded. He's gone. Trevor thinks Michael's dead. Brad's in prison. So Trevor's off in the sticks, running his meth lab, being on his own. And eventually Trevor comes to the realization that this whole thing, like, Michael fucked them over and stabbed them in the back to take this deal and everything like that. And I went from thinking this was going to be kind of like Saints Row, just a stupid game with a bunch of stupid missions, and we're just going to fuck around. The balance they strike between over-the-top silliness and craziness with a genuine story that mostly boils down to this, like, strained friendship between Michael and Trevor. And I love that in some missions they're getting along and they're fine, and then in some missions you can feel the tension between the two of them. And I'm bringing it back to the point you made of how Lester was always cool with Franklin. And it's like, everybody is always cool with Franklin. And it's like, because Franklin hasn't been there for any of their schemes that have gone wrong. Franklin wasn't responsible for Michael backstabbing Trevor. Trevor was a disaster far before he met Franklin. And I said to my brother, who's a big GTA 5 fan, I was like, they remind me of Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles from the trailer.
100%.
Like, that's the three characters.
Yeah.
Michael's Julian, because he is a piece of shit, but at least he's got some semblance of planning and, that kind of stuff. Trevor's obviously Ricky, just drugged up, completely off the rails. And then Franklin kind of plays the role of Bubbles, as, like, the guy in the middle who's just trying to play peacekeeper. It feels like every time they start fighting, Franklin's trying to get them to stop.
The guy who's kind of getting screwed over by the other two. Bubbles is always getting screwed over by those two.
Yeah.
So that is Franklin. And again, like, it's just, I love the interaction, because, like, and Trevor with Franklin is absolute perfection, because, like, Trevor's trying to act like a gangster when he's with Franklin, and how he talks to him, how he acts, everything. It's absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
and it's so funny because, like, as I'm playing, okay, you know what? We should just let you. Like, I know everybody. I know it sucks. Let's just sneak the ad in, and then it's done. And then I don't care how much longer we go. We don't have to worry about an ad. Okay, but I got bills on. I don't want to have to fucking turn to a life of crime like these guys. So give me a second. Let me do an ad. We'll be right. What I started saying. Remember, the game will return after these messages.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Bloom, one of the many reality experts featured on Rob Has a Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things reality TV. From breaking down the latest beachside blindside on Survivor to our wall-to-wall coverage inside the walls of the Big Brother house, RHAP gives you what you need to know about all your favorite shows. Check out Rob Has a Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get that sweet audio goodness.
Okay, so we're back. Trevor, so Michael, when it comes to like a redemption arc for the three of them, because we have to get into Trevor and we're going to. Franklin, the redemption arc is easy. You can see that this guy's had a bit of a rough upbringing. He's living with his aunt. He's living in a pretty rough neighborhood. And he is a criminal and he is a thug, but he wants to maybe not improve his life isn't the right term, but at least he wants to he's got ambitions of being a better thief and a better thug, I guess. At least it's something. And easily seems like the most redeemable of the three characters. Easily.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I think he's built that way so that you kind of have one character that, while he's a guy who, and again, he's never a piece of shit. Like, he's never truly a piece of shit like the other two. Because he's a guy down on his luck doing what he can to survive and pay his rent, pay his money, pay his way through life, and just gets kind of sucked into all of it. But it kind of gives you a character that, yeah, you can believe that this guy could redeem himself. He doesn't technically, but he does.
But he could.
But he does. He does,
yeah.
but he doesn't redeem himself. And depending on how you go with the ending of this game, he does, but he doesn't. It's that weird balance of, yes, the character is generally a good person, but he's doing a lot of really bad things.
Yeah, at least you're kind of pulling for him,
Yeah.
And then Michael, it's interesting because they that's one of the tricky things about an anti-hero, because I think you could consider it all three of these characters anti-heroes. The thing about an anti-hero is that they are a piece of shit. Tony Soprano is an anti-hero. Deadpool, I think, is an anti-hero. It's Venom. They are anti-heroes are not people you should be cheering for. Sorry guys, some audio clips, some audio issues there. So yeah, like I was saying, an anti-hero needs to have something that puts the hero on there. Otherwise, they're just a villain. They need something that makes them redeemable. Franklin, it's easy. You know why you're cheering for him. Michael, I think, comes fairly easy as well, because sure, he's a fuck up and the piece of shit, and he's done some horrible things and killed tons of people. He's a marksman. That's his special abilities. He's a great shooter. He's clearly a murderer and a robber and everything. But at least he's got a wife, a son, a daughter, and he's trying to take care of them. And the whole game, his family's leaving him, and then he's trying to get them back. Then he gets them back, and they're fighting with each other. So at least there's an aspect of he's trying to be a dad. He is a piece of shit and he's a horrible man, but at least he's trying to be a dad. So I'm all right, I can get behind it. Trevor was interesting to me because when you first play as him just out in the sticks and he's just beating on Ron and he's just yelling at Wade or whatever the fuck his name, Wade. And then you do that one mission early on, you learn that Trevor can fly a plane and fly helicopters and shit. And, which I gotta say, if I have one gripe, I think the flying in this one is better. I still think the flying in GTA just fucking sucks.
The entirety of vehicle controls, unless you're using Franklin's slow down time ability, it's I don't think it's ever been good in any GTA game, and I don't expect controls for vehicles to be good in GTA 6. It's just a staple. The vehicles don't control well, and if they control well in GTA 6, I'm going to be a little bit annoyed.
Yeah. It was the fucking flying. It's the fucking flying that made me crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to land the fucking planes and shit. But so he's out in the sticks and you go to his meth lab and fucking shoot everybody. And he goes shooting with that fucking redneck guy. You do the rampage mission where you just go kill 40 fucking people. You're this man has no redeemable qualities.
There's the one where you kicked the meth lab into the river or whatever, killing the dude.
Yeah. You push the RV into the fucking river. Yeah, just a horrible slice of humanity. But then it goes to Michael's house, and the minute they're reunited, they find out that Michael's daughter's off applying for that fame or shame show, and Trevor goes with Michael to get her back. And you're okay, this guy, he clearly knows Michael's kids. They know him as Uncle Trevor, and he's I'm gonna. And so I'm all right, you know what? The one maybe semi-possible redeeming quality Trevor has is at least he's loyal to his friend. You know what I mean? He's loyal to Michael. He's got the tattoo on his arm. And like you said, I love the way Trevor and Franklin interact with each other for the whole game. I love the one part where Trevor comes to Franklin's house and Tripp's trying to jump over the fence and Franklin starts laughing at him and Trevor loses his fucking mind. But
he loses his mind at him, but then he loses his mind at him, but then he immediately turns back after yelling at him, back to just being like, "What's up, homie?" And like, and just like, and again, trying to act gangster with Franklin, and I love that the way he does it, because it's so cringy, but you love it so much. And again, he is the biggest piece of shit in this game, but you learn to love him, and I don't understand why I love this character so much.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like, because obviously, like I think he has to be the most popular. Like so many people wrote in about Trevor, right? Like I get it. Trevor's the guy. Trevor stole the game. I understand that. I'm playing through this game and I find Trevor entertaining as everybody else does. But I was also like, not to get all fucking sophisticated here, but I was kind of like, he's almost too over the top. I was like, is there even a reason for me to like this fucking guy? Like he's nothing good about this man. Like when he comes into like Franklin's fucking safe house is his house he shares with his aunt, and then later on in the game, Lester gets him like a nice house. After you do like one of those, one of those assassins. I only did the one of Lester's missions, and everyone warned me to wait, so I did, and then I never had time to go back to the rest. But
yeah, because if you do those missions in the right order and play the stock market the right way,
exactly,
you can make a shit ton of money in that game.
Yeah,
which I have done it, but then I've had other playthroughs where I just was like, I can't have enough money to get through this game, because like I did it in ones where I wanted to go buy all the properties, things like that. But you have to invest. With each character has to invest their money, and that's the hardest damn part. Is getting each one you have to switch over to each one, do the investment again, and then wait, and then do the kill or wait the amount of time you need to. It's very annoying, but you can do it. You make a lot of money.
So Franklin goes from like his aunt's house in this fucking rough neighborhood to this like beautiful house up on a hill looking over everybody and all that. It's great. That's his place. Michael's got the house that he starts the game with from the money he got from the deal he got with the FIB, and that makes sense, and that's all well and good. Trevor fucking starts out in this like mobile home out in the sticks, and then later in the game he fucking brings poor Wayne in, and they go to Wayne's cousin's house.
Oh
and
my God.
It's not even Wayne's cousin's condo. It's Wayne's cousin's wife or girlfriend's fucking condo.
Yeah,
but she's not around. Good. And Trevor just takes over it and destroys it. And now that becomes Trevor's fucking safe house for like half the game.
And I'm pretty sure, doesn't he kind of like take the cousin as a lover or whatever? Or it's implied?
Yeah, I got that impression. I was never 100% sure there. Where like they wakes up and he's like crying and Trevor's there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that. Sure. I was just like, oh, this is prison level stuff right here.
Yeah, that was my impression as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this man doesn't have a single redeemable quality. You play through the whole game. Trevor's the wild card. Trevor's the fucking asshole. There is the one mission where one of the first missions you do where all three of them are together. There was two that stuck out early on that I thought were really cool. One was where you have to break that guy out of the FIB building when he's getting what's the word I'm looking for? Not in where they question him. How am I fucking? It's not antagonized. It's people are listening.
Interrogate.
Thank you. Interrogate. Like people are yelling the word at me. They're interrogating him, and you do the thing where Franklin's off with like the sniper rifle, and Trevor's got the helicopter. He lowers Michael down, and you break through the window and grab him and get away. I thought that was a really cool mission. And then I like the one where Trevor just out of nowhere decides we're gonna make a score and we're gonna steal something from this fucking company Merriweather from the docks, and so you sink this fucking boat. This giant fucking sea can ship.
Oh, and you have to use the you have to use it little yellow submachine, right? Where you have to go through all the rings or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so hard to control.
Everyone said that. I didn't find the submarine half as hard as the flying. Not that it was easy.
I found the flying easier than the sub, personally.
Yeah. I crashed trying to land planes so many times in this fucking game. So many fucking times. But the sub, it wasn't fun. But it didn't irritate me like the fucking flying did.
Okay.
But I quite enjoyed those missions. There's the one where because now that FIB guy is around and he's like got David in his back pocket, your contact there, and I fucking hate that fucking guy. I can't remember his name, Sean or Steve or something.
Steve.
I hate that.
It was
fucking
Steve.
guy.
Yeah, it was Steve. Yeah.
There's a crazy mission where you're controlling Trevor and you have to like torture that guy to get him to talk, and Steve's telling him what to do.
But you can kill the guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can go too far, and you have to restart it all if you want the right ending to it. But yeah, oh my god, it's weirdly fun. But you're like, this is disturbing. That it's so like, oh my god.
Yeah, I found that one almost like I was almost uncomfortable. I was like, this is fucking weird.
It's weirdly fun, but you're like, oh god, I don't know if I should be having fun playing this mission because it's not. It's like it's disturbing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I would never want to do anything like that to a person because it just gives me nightmares. But it's like this Trevor just being a psychopath, the psychopath that he is.
But that's like, so you're doing that stuff with Trevor. You take over fucking that guy's condo and fucking or like and make love to the poor teddy bear. Like you fucking go and you steal a strip club from this fucking guy. Like Trevor is completely, other than his like on again and off again loyalty to Michael and the way he treats Franklin, like Trevor is just like you're like, what a piece of shit.
He's just despicable.
Yeah, and I know we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but I mean fucking we still have a lot to get to. When they go to that mission where they fly off to where the robbery was, and Trevor, because Trevor finally puts the pieces together and realizes what happened and goes and digs up Michael's grave and finds Brad. And now he knows the truth because he wanted to break Brad out of jail and he loses his mind. And then he leaves Michael there to be caught by those like Asian mobsters that Trevor fucked over at the very beginning of the game.
Yep.
Which also was hilarious when Trevor grabs that guy's head and just starts slamming it into the pool outside of the bar. Fucking so funny.
Dude, he just everything he does in every mission, how he just screws somebody in some way, screws them over in some way. It's just perfection.
Yeah. So he leaves Michael there, and then they think that Michael is Trevor's lover because they were living in the trailer together for a while when they were on the land. So then, and Michael keeps trying to tell them, like, I'm not his boyfriend. I'm not his husband. I'll help you. Let's kill him. And then they catch Michael and they're going to kill Michael because he won't give up Trevor. Then Franklin saves him, and that's all well and good. But then you go to the meetup with the FIB with David. And then like Merriweather shows up and all the government agents, like the military, everybody shows up and it's like this big shootout and they're about to kill Michael. And then Trevor saves him. And Trevor's like, if anyone's going to kill him, it's going to be me. And I was like, there it is. I was like, cause I'm enjoying playing as Trevor. It's fun to play as this fucking psycho and just do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm like, when are we going to get the moment where Trevor suddenly becomes at least like 5% redeemable? Like not it's just right a there. Piece of shit. And that was it, where I was like, there it is.
And the redeemable quality is, I'm not going to let you kill him. I might kill him.
Right.
It's like, oh my God.
But that's the moment where I'm like, okay, now I have a reason to fucking cheer for this guy too. Like now I'm on board. And so that kind of becomes like the driving point of the game for about half of the game. I mean, there's side storylines, right? Like the whole relationship with Franklin and Lamar, the relationship between Michael and his family. Like there are other storylines, but the driving point of the game for the most part kind of just becomes the FIB has got these guys in their back pocket and they're fucking with them and they can't get out from underneath their thumb. So they have to keep getting forced to do these missions that they don't want to fucking do. And the missions just get wilder and wilder and wilder. And the game is building up and building up and building up. But what I love about it is because I was thinking to myself and I'm like, fuck, GTA, San Andreas kind of did this too, where James Woods' character is like telling you what to do the whole time.
Yep.
And I was kind of like, why are we recycling this? But in this one, it works because of their past and because of Michael's past with David and the FIB and the deal they cut to protect each other. And
well, it makes sense. It makes sense in that way because there's history. There's where San Andreas just did it because it's James Woods' character was being a piece of shit, trying to fuck these people over. Where this one, it's like there's a deal in place, so he's kind of screwed because if he doesn't do what the FIB says, Michael's gonna lose everything that he has, and he maybe end up in jail. There's all these things, right? Because it's his family. So I understand it. Like it makes sense that this would keep going.
Yeah, and it's so funny because as you're playing through the game, so you've got you'll have moments where the backstory gets pieced together and you learn more and more of the truth. And now you know the truth. You know that Brad's not in prison, he's dead. And you know that Michael kind of threw them under the bus, right? And Trevor doesn't quite know it. At one point, Trevor wants to come up with a plan to break Brad out of prison. And Lester keeps telling him, you got to go talk to Michael about it. You got to go talk to Michael about it. And you've learned. And it's not that you learn it all. And I think that's one of the most brilliant parts of the writing. You don't learn everything that happened right away. You learn it as you play through the game. Yeah. And then you watch Trevor learn it as you play through the game. And you're waiting for the moment when this fucking psychopath finds out the truth. And you're like, what in the fuck is this guy going to do when he finds out?
And it's surprising that he doesn't do the thing you expect him to do.
Yeah. He just kind of ditches you and leaves you for dead, and then he's gone. Like, he's just gone for a while. And I love that every time, like, as you're playing through this game, every time shit hits the fan and something goes wrong, it's Franklin who's pulling these two back together. And by the end of the game, Franklin's like, both of you just need to shut the fuck up. Like, Franklin's like had enough of both of them. So then you build up to that, like the big, so now Trevor knows the truth, and then he decides that he's the one that's going to kill Michael, but they had already started talking about pulling off, as they call it in the game, the big one, where they're going to steal all that gold.
The Union Depository, that's like right in the center of the city.
And I love the way they were planning that one out as well. And I will say that, like, for that one, I went with the hijack the trucks, the armed trucks. Is that what you did for that one? Because I think there was another way you could do it. You could like smash and grab and have a helicopter or something. But I used the armored trucks and went underground.
Yeah, because there's a subtle way. I think that is the trucks, because you kind of get in there, but then there's just the oblivious way. I've done them both. It's just a lot harder when you kind of blow the doors open and go in that way. That is very hard to do.
Yeah.
Where the Union Depositories, if you use the trucks and everything, it's a lot easier to get in and out. It doesn't, the craziness doesn't explode as much.
Honestly, like, for it to be the last mission in, like, well, it's not the last mission in the game, but like one of the last, it's the big one, right? So I'm expecting, I know there's not really boss fights in GTA, but I was expecting shit to hit the fucking fan. Because like earlier on, when you have to do that mission where you dress up as firefighters and go into the FIB building and get the
that one again, there's two ways in. You do the firefighter way, or that you can come in through the rooftop,
right?
Sneak in, right? There's two ways to do that,
right? I did the firefighter way, and I actually found that one kind of hard because at one point you're trying to get out of this building that's like fucking burning and falling apart. You're trying to get out as Franklin, and I actually I died in there a few times. Like that one gave me some trouble, and so I was expecting that final mission with the gold to be really tough. And at this point, the team's back together because like Lester is telling Michael and Franklin, like, hey, I want to do this one too. I want the score, but we can't do it without Trevor. Like, we need him. We all need each other to fucking make this work. And so Trevor and Michael kind of they fight with each other the whole time. They're constantly shit talking to each other, yelling at each other, but they kind of put their differences aside to make this last big score. And I had figured that one was going to give me a ton of problems because I'd had some problems with the one before where you have to go into the FIB building. And then outside of the shootout under the parkade with the Merriweather while the guards are loading the gold up into the muscle
really
cars,
isn't a super hard one to do.
No, I didn't find that mission. Frankly, what I found to be most difficult in that mission was finding the muscle cars. That was like the one part of the game that irritated me, was looking for the muscle cars. I just because I don't know about cars. Like, until I found one, I found out that I got the email and they're like, one is in this parking garage, go there. So I was like, okay. So I went there. I go through all 5 floors of this parking garage. I have no fucking idea what this car I'm looking for is. So I finally had to Google it and just find a picture of what the fucking car. And then I saw there was like a muscle car with a stripe down the middle, and then it was easy. But I was like, I have no idea what fucking car I'm looking for. Other than that, though, like, I was actually shocked that it wasn't that difficult.
No,
it was easy.
I feel like the more the kind of where you're blowing everything up and you're using the helicopter and all that stuff, that one is a little bit harder because again you're having to run the helicopter and you literally use a helicopter to pick up the vault and fly it away, or a big truck or something and fly it away.
Yeah.
That is so much. Again, it's just harder to do that one because everything's blowing up, everybody's shooting, everything. Where you're kind of just contained to the one kind of shooting thing in the underground, in the kind of more subtle heist,
which isn't hard because for the most part, like, you just swap between Michael and Trevor and use their special abilities. And I only switched to Franklin when he was in trouble. Yeah, other than that, I just
100%.
used Michael and Trevor's abilities and just, wasted them.
Yep.
But I love, I got to be honest with you, man. Cause we're going to get to the end of the game. I want to talk about the ending, the 3 endings and stuff like that. Then we'll go back and listen, I know some of you are going to write in and be like, I can't believe you didn't touch on this or that. This is too much. This is too big a fucking game. And I didn't see everything. Somebody was like, dude, did you find the Colts? And I was like, I have no idea what the fuck a Colt. I didn't know there were Colts in this game. I spent 40 hours with it and didn't even find some of the stuff people have been asking me about.
Sorry, the what?
There's Colts, I guess. There's a cult you can find or some shit, I guess. I don't know.
That is news to me. I did not know that.
Unless somebody was just fucking with me. I don't know. I found some alien guy up in the fucking bush who was like, there's aliens out there. And then I never went looking for anything.
Because you can go and I think you can find spaceship parts or something.
Yeah. Altruist cult. The altruists are a religious cult in GTA 5. I never found them. So so anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I know I'm going to miss stuff. I'm sorry. Okay. I spent 40 hours. I've covered as much as I can here. You pull that final job, and I got to be honest with you, dude, the whole prep of that final job, everything, what I was expecting to happen at the end of the game was Lester was going to fuck us. That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to be like, I'm sick of you 3 idiots. I'm taking the money. And we'd have to stop Lester. And that's not what happened, which I'm grateful for because I liked Lester. Because there's a point where you're underground with the muscle cars and you're ready to take off with the gold. And they're like, we're going to go ditch the gold and then we'll be in touch in a few weeks after Lester's unloaded it because they're going to melt it down and everything. And Trevor's like, what's stopping me from just taking off with this car right now? And they're like, how are you ever going to unload the gold? That's what we need Lester to do. How are you going to just sell fucking 20
I love that
gold?
Trevor's just like, I'll take it all from you. But then he kind of comes to realize he's like, fuck, I can't do it without these people.
Yeah. But
it's so good.
When Michael said that, I was like, fucking Lester's going to screw us. He's going to take that money and he's going to.
I probably thought of it at the time too. It was probably like, oh, what the fuck?
But he doesn't, and you get away and you get the money. And I was kind of like, so is that the end of the game? And then Franklin's at home, and he gets that call, and now you have to make a decision on the end. And I knew the game had multiple endings, I'd seen that. You get the call, and then you basically, if I remember correctly. The FIB guy, Steve, wants you to kill Trevor because he's like, that guy's a psycho and he's going to fuck us all and he's going to get us all fucking ruined. And then who fuck was it that wanted you to kill Michael? I
can't remember. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done the kill Michael finish. I've done Trevor kill Trevor finish, and I've done everybody survives.
It's Devin, the rich guy. Devin wants you to kill Michael.
Yeah, because he doesn't like Michael because when Michael became a movie producer, kind of screwed Devin over.
Fuck yeah, that stupid mission where you have to chase down Devin's his associate, and she speeds away and then ends up getting pulled into the airplane fucking engine.
Oh my god!
And then you get the copy of the film back, and then you go back to the old man, and he's like, "Dude, everything's digital. We don't need that." And none of it mattered anyway.
You did all of it for nothing, and your woman died going into an airplane engine for nothing, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it was so fuck that mission shocked me. So you're kind of expecting I knew there were multiple endings and I was kind of expecting the endings to decide who was going to go to jail. That's what I thought it was going to be, which I guess maybe is 2 Trailer Park Boys, but again, I already saw Ricky, Juliet, and Bubbles in these 3 characters. But instead, you pick you play as Franklin, and Devin wants you to kill Michael, and Steve wants you to kill Trevor, and then you have to decide: do I kill Trevor? Do I kill Michael? Or the third option is I don't remember what they call it, but basically you're gonna doom yourself. You're gonna try to save both.
Death wish is what it's
Death
called.
wish, and you're basically gonna try to save both of them. And I because everyone's been asking me, I went with Death Wish. Because I was like, I've just spent too much time with these fucking guys. But I hesitated though, because when you pick Death Wish, I don't know about you, and I want to know which ending you picked in a second. I'm just saying, when you go to make that choice, knowing nothing of how this game ends, I'm assuming that Franklin is going to die. That's what's going to happen. Franklin's going to die protecting these two. I was like, Death Wish. And I'm like, fuck. Franklin probably deserves to die the least of these three. So can I choose this? Like, he doesn't deserve to die. But I was like,
Well, yeah, because there's one mission is obviously telling you you're going to kill Micah. One's obviously telling you you're going to kill Trevor. And then there's just a third mission. You're like, that has to be the death of Franklin.
Yeah.
Like,
And I was like,
ugh.
and I'm like, I don't want any of them to die. And I feel that Franklin deserves to die the least. But the point is I was like, I'll be goddamned if I'm going to be the one to kill Michael or Trevor. And so I decided to go with Death Wish. And then when you pick Death Wish, it turns out that it's like the happy ending because the three of them get together. Franklin finally convinces these two fucking idiots to just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. Let's fucking work together. And then you have to take out, and I love that they each go after somebody else's enemy. Franklin goes and takes out the Asian gangsters that wanted to kill Trevor.
Yeah, Wei Chen or whatever. Yeah, Wei Chen.
Michael goes and gets Stretch, who's after Franklin.
That's the gangster that like keeps kidnapping Lamar throughout the
Yeah.
game. I love.
And then-
come on, that is absolute perfection. That Lamar just keeps getting damsel in distress throughout this game, and Franklin has to constantly be the one to save him. I love that so much. I love that so much.
Well, my favorite part of the Death Wish ending was that Trevor gets the fucking FIB
Steve.
guy, Steve.
Yeah,
And
Steve,
guy, I hated him more than anyone in the game. I hated Steve. And so again, this whole game, I'm like, it's fun to play as Trevor, but I'm like, he's a little much. But then at the very end of the game, I'm like, wait a minute. So you're telling me that you're going to cut me loose as Trevor and let him be the one to kill that fucking piece of shit from the FIB? I was like, let's go. And I have to say, the only major disappointment I have in the game is that you don't get to like chase him down and beat on him or anything. You just snipe him on a Ferris wheel and it was over. And I was a little disappointed that you didn't get more time to just get some revenge on him.
Like I thought it was going to be like the torture scene earlier where Steve has Trevor torture.
Me too.
I thought it was going to be something and like he gets to like fuck with the guy and like torture him and then then put him out of his misery at the end. That's what I expected because that's how those two interacted early on in the game. So you kind of expect them to do the same thing there.
Yeah.
But don't. And it's just it's almost unsatisfying. But you get to go after Devin with Trevor after. That's I think.
And that was great.
It takes it away for Steve, but it gives you Devin, which is I think the best. Which is why I'm okay with it because it gives you his revenge on Devin.
Yeah. So like after all three of you have taken out each other's targets, you're like, now we need to get that rich sack of shit, Devin. Trevor goes to his house. You take out all of his guards. You go, you kidnap him. You throw him in the trunk of his car and drive away. And you call up Michael and Franklin, and you're like, I got him. Meet me here. Blah blah blah. And I love that the whole drive out there, Devin's in the trunk trying to hire Trevor, and then he's like, I'm gonna get you fucking killed. And Trevor's like, shut the fuck up, and just laughing at him. And then finally, the three of them meet up at that night out on that cliff. And basically, the three of them just tell Devin to go fuck himself. And they just push him off that cliff and he dies. And then they all go their own way. And I was like, I guess that's the happy ending. And it was good. And I was fine with that. I really just wanted a chance to fuck. Because frankly, did Trevor just shooting Steve when he's on the Ferris wheel and it being over and like it's getting away? That felt like a Michael kill. Like that didn't feel like how Trevor would do something.
Yeah,
you know?
Do you think Trevor would like blow the Ferris wheel up and Steve would crash down and burn to death or something? That's the Trevor way of killing him.
Yeah. But that said, I was good with the ending. So then I looked up the other two, and I want to ask you, what ending on your first playthrough? Do you remember what ending did you pick?
I went Death Wish the first time because again I didn't want either. The second playthrough I did another playthrough. I've done the playthrough of this game a few times, but I usually do Death Wish. But I have done the Kill Trevor one.
Okay. So I watched the other two on YouTube. I will say that had I done it again and played through another ending, I would have killed Michael. Or pardon me, I would have killed Trevor. Pardon me. Because I was like, Michael doesn't deserve to die as much as Trevor. Trevor is a piece of shit. But dude, watching how they fucking burned Trevor alive. Yeah. That's fucking morbid.
But it's almost it's the poetic death for Trevor. Because of all the crazy shit he's done and everything he's done to people. If he's going to die, that's the way that character would go out.
I don't disagree with that. But I just was like, dude, you spent this whole game making us fall in love with this fucking... Well, fall in love is is maybe a little bit, but like, you spent this whole game like playing as this fucking guy, and now we're gonna burn him to death. And Trevor even like yells at Franklin, and he's like, "Hey, bro,
Calls
I've
them
been straight with you the whole time, you piece of shit." Like,
Yeah, calls
I
them
was
Judases
floored.
and just denounces both of them as human, pretty much as human beings, because you're not human, right? Like,
floored me. And then the Michael ending, you're like, Franklin shows up and Michael's like, dude, you were like a son to me, and they're fighting with each other. And I did see someone point out in the comments of the YouTube video I watched, Michael shoots at Franklin a whole bunch and never hits him. And a lot of the people in the comments were like, he was missing him on purpose, hoping that Franklin would change his mind. Because they're like, Michael's the sharpshooter. He could have shot him.
Oh, if Michael wanted Franklin dead, he would have killed him. This is just him trying to scare Franklin off, to be like, "Fuck off! Don't kill me. Like, I'm not gonna." And it's that point of like, "I'm not killing you. Fuck off." It's yeah.
And it was wild because like, at this point, Michael he's got his family back. He has money. He's a movie guy, which he always wanted to be. Like, he's finally living like his best life. And then this fucking kid who was like his protege kills him, and just like, you can either let him fall or try to save him, and then he falls. But I was like, man, that's morbid. So there is no ending where Franklin dies.
No, which I understand, because you kind of need that character in the end game to be. You have to like it. The way it sits is like you either need Franklin and Trevor, or you need Franklin and Michael, or you need all three in the end to for the end game to play out, or in the post game. Because again, all the post game stuff, a lot of it focuses around like all the post game missions. A lot of it focuses around what Franklin does for if you save the assassinations to the end, so you can make the most amount of money. You need Franklin.
I never even thought it, because I'm being honest with everybody. Like, I would have loved to have. I'm like, dude, I had too many other things to play. I had to call it at 40 hours and an ending. But I would have loved to have spent some time in the post game. I never even thought of that. That if you do take the mission where you kill Trevor or you kill Michael, then you go through the post game, which is Franklin and whichever one is still alive.
Mm-hmm. Again,
I never even thought of that.
It's really just an easier way to do all the assassination and make the most amount of money, because you're not having to invest 3 different people's money. You only have to do it with 2 people, so it just takes you less time. But that's really the only difference, is just because you can't do the certain post game missions with one of the characters. And there's a couple of like you lose, like you don't really lose anything, because if you lost Franklin, you would lose all the assassination missions, because Franklin's the one that is doing the assassinations.
Right. I never even thought of that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man. So that's, yeah. And then somebody asked me what my therapist report card said. I honestly, I didn't realize that was a thing. I thought it was just like something that came up at the end of the credits. So I just kind of just skipped it. So sorry to everyone that was wondering. I honestly didn't realize that was a thing. I just went by it. Yeah. What a game, man. Like I still, like, we've been going for over an hour. I don't even know. There's so many other things to talk about. Like, the tennis in it plays well. The golf is good. Like, you can go to therapy missions. You can go to the strip club.
I love playing golf. And dude, you can go to the movie theaters, and there's like 4 or 5 different movies that
it's
literally you sit there and just let it play. And you can exit at any time. But like, these things are not short. There's one this outdoor, like it's almost like 10. I think it's like almost 10 minutes. You just sit there, and it's just a weird as shit. Like, all these weird different scenes. And you're just like, what the fuck? And it's like, but
it's mind-boggling
the fact that
to me.
all like we talked about when we did GTA, when we, like, this is the 4th GTA game I've talked with you. I think I've done all 4 games on here with you. We talked about GTA 4, the amount of stuff on the radio that you had to listen to, just that alone. The same thing here. Crazy amount of shit on the radio. And then, like, you had the hidden Ricky Gervais thing in 4. Again, you had the hidden movies in 5. All these weird movies you could watch and stuff. There's a lot of really cool little stuff you can do if you really explore this game.
Dude, I gotta say, like, the bang for your buck with this fucking game. Like, I will say it right now. There's a chance at some point in my life this just becomes a comfort food game for me, and it becomes like, I'm gonna go back and just do another playthrough of it, because I would love to spend more time doing the like freaks and geeks missions. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. or whatever they were called, some of the rampage missions, you can go and buy a ton of businesses and use those to like, I bought a couple, but I would like to go and do more of those. I never finished the assassination messages. I finished with like 70%. I put 40 hours in this game. I finished with 70%. You can just explore this fucking city. You can go everywhere. There's so many different things to do and to see, not to mention the classic have fun thing you do in GTA games where you just see how high you can get up the stars before you finally get caught, which is fun on its own right, just to do that. The fact that there's like golf and tennis and movies and all these other fucking things, I'm genuinely in awe of this game. Like the amount of like Rockstar, I know a lot of you want me to play the Red Dead games, and I will say like I've played about 10 hours of Red Dead 2, and I thought it was cool. I just was like, I don't know, I don't have time for this. Maybe I'll come back to it at some point. And I still
if you want Red Dead 1, I have a disc here for PS3 if you want Red Dead 1.
I'll probably play them at some point. I just like I've played lots of open world games. Is this my favorite open world game of all time now? I don't know, but it's in the conversation. I don't think it's fair necessarily to compare them. Maybe it is. You look at something like a Fallout 4, or a Fallout New Vegas, or a Skyrim, which I know are all the same company, or a Horizon, or insert your favorite open world game here. There's lots of great games, but just the sheer amount that they pack into this game, into GTA 5, and I knew coming in it was going to have a lot in it. I've played GTA 4. I've played San Andreas. The amount that went into this game, I have to say, because I kind of want to talk about the future of the franchise here for a minute. I know some of you have been writing in for years and been like, where the fuck is GTA 6? When are we going to get GTA 6? It's been 13 years or whatever the fuck. When the fuck are we getting GTA 6? Now that I've played through GTA 5 and taken a solid chunk out of it, I agree with all of you, and I went from being like, I'll probably play GTA 6 because I have to like, I genuinely can't fucking wait to play GTA 6. I have to say, like, dude, if we're gonna get a game with this much polish, like, dude, you've all played fucking Fallout and Skyrim and shit. They're fun, but they're glitchy as all shit.
Yeah,
Spider-Man's awesome. But the Spider-Man games are great, but they're not a fraction of the size. They don't have a fraction of the content in them that this does. This game
like
can
you
have
meld those two together.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That you can have this much content with this few bugs running this well with 3 different protagonists, with 3 different stories and different missions and everything for all 3 of them, that you can flip in between on the fly and just go from one life to another life to another life. And they flip fairly seamlessly. I only ever ran into one instance where I could not get it to load up another mission and I had to restart the game. Oh, and I did want to say, because somebody left a comment on one of my posts saying they were at the mission where you had to drive out to and get in the boat or whatever with the and go scuba diving with the FIB guys. And they were like, every time I got there, it said the mission's been disrupted, come back later. I ran into that as well. I finally Googled it and they said, take a cab there instead of driving there, and then the mission will load. Because I got stuck there too.
Again, it's not that it's perfect. There's odd little bugs in this game, but like outside of that, there's nothing really that messes the game up that badly.
No,
like really, there isn't.
Again, I'm sorry, everybody. We could go for another hour about some of the different side missions and everything, but we're gonna start wrapping this up. I'm gonna go back to the point I made almost 70 minutes ago. Is this my favorite game of all time? No, it's not. But this genuinely might be the most impressive video game that I've ever played. And when you look at the best-selling video games of all time, if you remove all the different versions of Tetris, which I don't even know anymore, Minecraft sits at number 1. And then GTA 5 sits comfortably at number 2 with over 200 million copies sold. Do you have any 200 million copies sold over that? That's insane. And every month when I talk about the best-selling games on Game Patch, GTA 5 is in there. Fucking month.
After over 200 million sold, how is it still registering that high? I don't get it. It's people like you that have never played it before and just are like, I gotta play this before I play 6, I guess. It must be guys like you that just never got around to it.
And I know people are buying it to go back to online, which I didn't touch it. I don't care. It's just, I'm sorry. It's probably fun. I'm not interested. It's just, this is the only game I can think of, or games I can think of, that maybe provide the bang for their buck that Grand Theft Auto 5 does, especially now that you can buy it for like $20. Even when it was full price. The only games I can think of are games like a Stardew Valley or like Endless Games, something like that. This is Rockstar deserves their flowers. This is one of, if not the most impressive most. It just the amount that they packed into this thing and made it run and work good. I never had any crashes. I had one semi glitch. That was it. Granted, I'm playing a game like a version of it that's 12 years after launch or whatever the fuck, but still, I'm floored. I'm floored.
But like, just as a guy who bought it for his PS3 way back when it came out,
it's a PS3 game.
Yeah, I bought it on PS3. I still have my disc and my metal case. I bought like the metal case collector edition. Like, even back then, it still ran really well. Like, it did. It wasn't a buggy mess when it came out. Yes, there was a few there was issues here and there, but it wasn't like playing a Cyberpunk like we have it, or Witcher when it came out, or Fallouts when they with the games. They don't have that. Rockstar doesn't release with that kind of issues. So like, look at Red Dead 2. Like, odd bug here and there, but nobody talked about it being a mess. Nobody talked about it, and that's where they're going with GTA 6. It's going to. I feel like it's going to exceed what GTA 5 did, at least the story mode side. Again, I only played a little bit of online in the early days on PS4. I played, like, I would do heists with your brother. That was about it. And then I started playing. I would try to play it on my own, but then there's too many jackasses just killing me for no reason, and I just kind of got bored by it.
Yeah, it's just. I'm impressed. I don't know how else to say it. I'm impressed. We're gonna score it and call it an episode, guys, because I gotta get out of here. It's fucking Sunday night. Let's score it out of 215 because they've sold 215 million copies.
All right.
Yo, is your phone near your computer or is it me? So one of our phones is causing that. Like,
sorry, that's probably me. I was looking at something.
It might be
I apologize. I apologize. That may be me.
I'm not editing that out, everybody. It's there. Andre, you're the guest. So you have first dibs. Out of 215, we won't get 215 million, but out of 215, what would you score Grand Theft Auto 5?
213. This game is almost perfect. I don't know what I'm taking off for, but it's just short of perfect for me personally. It's a game I can turn on and just play and enjoy the story mode. Even though how many times I've played it, I can still enjoy the story over and over again.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, you guys, like over the last 3 days or so since I finished my playthrough, I've been trying to decide if there's something I can take a point off for, or if this is going to get one of my rare perfect scores. I considered taking dinging it for how much I hate the flying, because I really hate the flying. But I think I gotta give it. It's just so good. I gotta give it 215. I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Oh,
I could have never.
Awesome.
I never in a million years thought that GTA 5 would live up to the hype that it has had for my life over the last like 5 or 6 years I've been doing this podcast, where everyone's like, "How have you not played GTA 5?" And now that I've played it, I'm like, "You were all right. This is one of the greatest video games of all time." I can safely say it's going to slot into probably my top 25 or 30 favorite games of all time. And it's earned it. I'll give it a perfect score. It's incredible. I know why I'm not giving
a perfect score. It's because it's not Nico.
That's fair.
From GTA 4.
That's why. Some Roman. Yeah, it did need some Roman.
Needs some Nico, needed some Roman.
What a game, man. What a game. That said, as much as I've enjoyed it, I'm very happy to finally be moving on with my life and playing some other games.
Only for about like 6 to 8 months, and then you have to deal with it next year. You have to deal with 6 next year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that now. And it's great because unlike some of you that have waited 12 plus years for GTA 6, I'm like, I've been waiting 2 days. So I'm like, I'm good. I missed out on the long development cycle, and now I'm like, all right, we're like 6 months out from a new game. I'm ready. Let's fucking go. So
there you go.
Andre, when you're not talking old games with me, you're doing other things. So I'll shut up. Plug away. What do you got?
I'm on a couple different channels. I work with our local establishment, which you can find on YouTube and on Twitch. It's a variety channel. We talk a lot of pro wrestling, a lot of indie wrestling reviews from around the world. That we talk a couple of shows just talk indie wrestling from around the world. We also have a sports stream every Sunday that I'm a part of, called Point of View, where we get together. We have a fantasy football league going between a couple of hosts and a bunch of the fans and other contributors to the network. So we're playing that over there, and we also do a predictions thing every Sunday where we predict the week in football. And currently, I am tied for the lead, which makes me happy. And I am second in in the fantasy league, so I am happy. But yeah, we also talk English football. We talk F1. Starting next week, NHL will be back on the table. We'll be talking some NHL. So we do that every Sunday. And then I also have a show on there called Marvel Talk, where I talk anything new that comes out from Marvel. We talk that. And actually, there's going to be a special DC talk within the next week or two. We're actually talking Peacemaker season 2. And then I also, over on Backbreaker Video, our friend Mike the Ref's channel, I do my show, The Pop Spot, where me and my co-host AWS, we talk about all the independent wrestling that we go see right here in the city of Edmonton. And actually, we also talked about TNA that we went and saw last weekend. We talk about all the indie wrestling we go to around the city, even the one I work for. And actually, one more plug, go check out Real Canadian Wrestling when you're in the Edmonton area, because you'll see me as the ring announcer.
There you go. Busy man. I like it. I like staying busy. You'll find some links in the description of this episode, presuming I got them from Andre in the next 48 hours. It's Sunday night. I am fucking exhausted. I've had a long weekend. This officially closes the chapter of my life of GTA 5. Andre, we've made it. Thank you for doing this. Thanks for all your help with the show over the last 7 years to get us to 350 episodes, and we'll do it again soon.
Heck yeah.
And that is going to do it for this week's episode. Andre, thank you so much for giving me a call and talking some GTA 5. And to every single one of you, Trevor, loving hot dogs, whether this was your first Remember the Game or your 350th, if you survived that infamous intro and the entire game chat and all that and made it to this point, thank you so much for the support. 7+ years of this stupid podcast, 350 episodes, and we ain't going nowhere. At least not for another 50, because I know what episode 400 a year from now or so is going to be. And I don't want to give away the whole thing, but I will just give away a hint that it involves a plumber in a galaxy, and it is super fun. And we'll just leave it there. That's probably what episode 400 a year from now is going to be. We have so many other games to get to between now and then. My goal for the rest of October is to try to get through Resident Evil Remake, Resident Evil 3, and Alan Wake. I have no idea what order those are going to go up in. It's Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada this weekend. I'm having a hard time locking down some recording dates and stuff, but we'll make something happen. I still owe our Patreons 2 Patreon poll winners in the form of God of War 2 and Batman Arkham City. So those hopefully will get done sometime in November. And I don't know. I'll just review whatever else I feel like. Well, I got so many games to get to. We'll keep the ball rolling. Thank you all so much for the support. Leave us a good review if you like the show. I know I joke about it every week, but they really do help us in the algorithm thingy. I guess we're supposed to ask for them, so please do. And if you want to support us even more, patreon.com/rememberthegame. Subscriptions start at just $3 a month. There's over 1,200 episodes waiting for you over there, including all 350 Remember the Games ad-free with timestamps so you can skip around to your heart's content with new shows going live every week. And don't forget my 6th annual Extra Life charity stream to raise money for the Stollery Children's Hospital will be Friday, November 7th and Saturday, November 8th. I'll have more information up on that soon on the website and everything. And donate $20 or more, be entered to win some prizes, and we'll be auctioning off a chance to be my guest on the show as we raise money for the kids. We should, if we can raise 9,000 Canadian this year, which I'm pretty confident. The last couple of years we've raised like 25 and 20 or something. If we can crack 9K this year, we will break $100,000 since we started doing this, which is fucking insane. So thanks everybody for that. Thanks everybody for the support. I'm going to thank some patrons and get out of here. You guys are the best. If you are a patron, I'll be back tomorrow on Expansion Pass where we'll be counting down the things in gaming we're grateful for, or thankful for, I guess, as it is Thanksgiving. And next week we'll be back with a whole nother slab of shows, including something horror related. I honestly don't know which one yet. It's going to depend which of my guests I can make the episode line up with, but something will be back in 7 days. Appreciate all of you. Thanks for listening. Here's to 350 more. Cheers, so long. Goodbye. Remember the Game is brought to you by our patrons. I couldn't puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I'm contractually obligated to say all their names as fast as I can at the end of every episode. So this week we're just going to go oldest to newest. It's 350 episodes. We'll keep it simple. So a huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Slick Motherfucking Rick, Makeshift Mallow Magic Money, Sharonic, J Nasty 15, Jork King Keegs, Dissect That Dan, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Andrew Wright, Jordan, Eldest Millennial, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Angry Ticks, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Scott Brooks, Aaron Lawson, JSK Fusick, A-Town, Morgan, Zane Donovan, Ryan Kinchin, Mike Maloney, G9PSX, Mercury 869, Wolfgang Darren, Andy Hudson, Doogie, Wolf Magic 21, Johnny from Virginia, Squint, Steen Donian, Titan 420, Jeff Bergeron, Randy Bear, It's Just a Fish, Fuck My Fist, Disco Stew, nice, Holmes, Zach Shepard, Captain Black Silver, 333, Chugger 22, Elijah Burns, It's That Nerd, James, Madam Nutsich, DBXJ, Standard Ass Brian, Dude Where's My Game, Mizuru, Juris Dr. Mario, Tyler, Phil Lencher, Jake Carter, Laces Out Dan, Growlywog, Beaver Boy, Thomas Smith, Leroy Westrich, Rush's Dog Walker, Stud Still Smash, Matt Babineau, Gabe, Fuzzy99, Decoy Man, a dude named Adam, Wyatt the Surgeon who isn't a surgeon, Rowe, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Scary Terry, Storm Beagle, Archangel Otaku, Earl, Hagel Waffle, High Plains Drifter, Jimothy, Oroku Saki's Gardener, Coda Blaze's Pants Have No Ass, General Fury, I am the very model of a modern Major General, James Juan Francesco, John of the Adult Children Podcast, Jokes about him, okay, Sam Carpenter, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Sleeper Hit, Squeak Nuts, Isaias, Hits Meals, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Christian Gabriel, Maverick Marty, Musty Beetle, Graham Kennedy, Timothy Sabrinsky, My Left Nut, Beef Dingleberry, Quiet Place Queen, Christopher Britt, Zamatos, Big the Cat, Tadpole, T-Bear 87, Maverick and the Black Hole of Ass known as the Internet, Brandon DeZeba, Kia Pup, Monstrosity Boner, AB Killen Works for Me, Ted Explosion, Ryan Perry, Alex R, please refrain from tasting the knob, Scotty J, Just Car Prank, Zombie XE, Bartman Forever, Dark Skywalter, Postman, Nick Creature, Adam Martinet, The Big Deal, Ryan 4664, Kevin Monroe, Can't Destroy Her, Pee Wee Squitters, Nordak, Leroy Jenkins, Lord Palmerston, Beers of War, Because 19, Infinity Rage, Lord Long, Rob Von Hugendom II, Roger Staubach's Pool Cleaner, Lucas Shaman, Frosty Bear, Sour Goat Face, Faded Sufferance, Chris Hill isn't scared, that could be anyone's ass, B Money, Penguin Milk, Fallen Snow Kiku, The Supreme Chozo Rizzo, you son of a bitch, why? Tell me why. E-Man Trucker, Mark Sneed, Shoeboxers, Adam Blank still hasn't reviewed Mario Galaxy, Jay Callahan, Robbie Air, Brian Richmond, Blue Shell, Discharge, Bula, Matt Zeus, Too Much Karma, Mopey 36, Cesar, Filling My Mouth with Farts, Slicker Like Luigi, Cody Thompson, JR, Bob Dobbs, Bob Sacamano, Chaz Hammond, Mr. Jabroni, Big Daddy Randall, Ida Yellow, Ryan Whitcomb, Justin Tate, shout out if you get that reference, Thrill Ho, Toby OP, Scotty McGee, Alex McIntyre, Spider Cat, Eric Hopewell, Darbles, Generic Name 238, Texas. David Schroeder, Muncal, Diablo Spartan, Justin Blair, McCracken, Wilco, VOS Rager, Brother Retro, Conebread, Ocarina of Tim Rocks, Daniel Cook, Desiree, Super Science, Afariath, Savage Boosh, The Only Sean, The Grim Patron, MacGyver 88, Travis Sanders, Lord Salazar, Flater Flav, Erotic Onion Ring, Captain Asbury Juice, Shut Up, Topher Love, Thunder Leaps, Legendberry, Jinxie 425, Akiris Network, Horror Wars Podcast, Jeff Leopard, Game Boy Gannon, Fancy Stallbot Dirt, Botfucker, Mikey Hag, Shane's World, Devin Collins, Cannon Fodder Games, Trooper Galactus, Exotic Chaotic, Just James, Spooky Dookie, Profound, Frank Preeves, The Okayest of Muffins, Landed Turquoise, Siegfried, Manjoid the Reploid, Tyler Patchell, Handsome Major Angus McZongo Esquire, Raph is my favorite turtle, not Donnie, Jonathan Breyer, Redline Arrow Jones, George Swan, King Tiki Tiki, The $100 Kid Ted Michaels, Chris Nethercutt, and Athena. That was a fucking beast mode level of shoutouts. That was a 10. Wow. Wow. Oh, I forgot to hit record. Fuck me. Oh, never mind. Oh, it's recording. Oh, fuck. Oh, that would have sucked. Take it easy, everybody.
I'm driving. You can jerk me off if I get bored. I'm joking. You can suck me off.
Are we gonna stop for ice cream?